happy, you're so strange. And in your dark.
Can you see how to change it from Kavanaugh?
We'll just change it on the thingamajig.
Oh, I tried. I couldn't figure out how to do it.
You gonna do the intro?
Yep.
Okay. It doesn't even say Kavanaugh. It just says Fireside. We're good.
No, when the video itself, watch.
Video unavailable. Video is private.
This is what it was doing to me too.
That what it was doing. Oh, babe, we need the charger. It's not charging.
What the heck? I plugged it in.
All right, it's back. All it says is Fireside.
Okay, good.
Okay, charger's up. Are you gonna do the intro?
Get the charger. Shut off the AC. Are you gonna do the intro?
Oh, here we go. All that was live, so all the SJWs are gonna come.
Yeah, but it's me standing up for myself.
Oh, even better, even better. Can you hear the hooves? Can you hear the hooves of the SJWs galloping?
They're on their way.
Galloping
Hello,
to your
boys.
rescues. Yeah.
Okay.
That's good. That's good.
Honestly,
Sori.
I can't remember what we say.
Welcome to Vin and Sori Fireside. Blah, 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 blah.
Welcome to Vin and Sori Fireside. I don't think we usually call it Fireside.
Conversations with Vin and Sori.
Yeah, that's right. Welcome to Conversations with Vin and Sori, where we talk about anything from hair products, Mark just showed up, to politics, religion, food, anything we damn well please like talking about. So here you go. Thanks for showing up.
What a bumpy, terrible, terrible
Well, I think we just need to get an official beginning. And
yeah, I agree with that.
oh shoot, that's what should be the sound behind the fireside. That
what, the little crackling thing that what's his name?
Yeah, instead of the crackling, I should have
his real name.
Yeah, I know, that's why I stopped.
Share now.
Bricktown Media. I should ask him if I'll like speak something and he can add it in. Well,
all right.
Can you guys hear us?
Can you guys hear us? Just joined the village. What's up, Chris? Good to see you, buddy. Long time no see, Bumblebee. Thank you for posting my pic. Thank you for sending it, my guy. That was amazing. Why did my girlfriend have... Okay, yeah, Eddie, one more of those and you're gone, my guy. So, there you are.
Okay.
What's the problem now?
I just need you to push over because I'm half cut off. And
all right, sorry. All right.
Well, I don't know what you think this is, but
here we go.
But this is Vin and Sori.
Yeah, whatever you say. Whatever you say.
Here's the microphone.
That's what's important to you. More underachievement. Looking at these guys underachieving right now. Let's underachieve.
Don't you love underachievers?
How frustrating. What's
Petty.
up, Eddie? Salam alaikum.
Oh, I thought that was him just writing in a different way.
That was. It was him being petty. You had it right the first time.
Petty as hell.
Okay, good. So Carlos's team. I shouldn't even say that. Now I'm talking about work stuff. I'm just gonna cut that off. Okay. There's the Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Wi-Fi's turned off. Okay.
Good. We're good.
Good. He went with Sanskrit. This will be a nice break from the Sam Harris and Jordan Peterson debate I'm way too deep into. Yeah, I mean, it depends. It depends on what the callers do. Salam alaikum, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Mr. Blazing Heat.
Yes, Mark, I did. We just actually we opened up all the stuff today and shot the video for it.
Are you uploading it right now? The Christmas?
No, I can't because Bricktown just finished the beginning piece. So I want to add that in.
I think we'll probably keep logos up. What are we doing? Kill iMovie, Notes, and Ring Central. Okay. So we are good to go.
Hi, Chris.
So what are we talking about today, ladies and gentlemen? Chris Davis, what's up, buddy? How you guys doing? We're doing good. Doing good.
You weren't feeling good earlier.
Yeah, I was feeling weird earlier, but I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
The face of God.
God. What's the face of God?
Remember I showed it to you? Like they said the scientists revealed.
Oh, and it looks like Elon Musk. Oh, the shohada. They smell like musk. They have the smell of musk.
Dude, my Mudvayne VMA award video is trending and jumped 3,000 views in 2 days. There you go. That's good.
Good job, Thrash Metal. How's the car? Don't want to talk about it.
They keep finding more stuff.
Did you watch the Ford Kavanaugh opening remarks the other day? Yes, we did. And what a mess. What a mess.
I've got stuff on my hands. That's soap you sprayed all over the bathroom.
Okay. What we've just discovered today is Sori does not like Old Spice. Howdy, rock stars. What's up, Leia?
Babe, did you see your toothbrush?
I don't want to talk about it. Anything bad or dysfunctional, I don't want to talk about.
If I was you, I would want to know.
Who do you believe?
Don't use it.
Who do you believe between Kavanaugh and Homegirl?
Who's by the toilet? The kids.
I just said I didn't want to know.
We should throw it away. Would you rather?
Then throw it away, babe. We share the same
gonna wonder
toothbrush.
where? No, mine is in a little case, and you're welcome to use it, but leave mine in the case. I know better than to
You should have
just
just
leave
threw it away. Obviously, I wouldn't want to use it if it was by the toilet.
So you need to know.
You just enjoy talking about nasty shit.
Yep, that's our kids, babe.
I'm not in a good mood.
And I wanted
That's
the people
obvious.
to know because I want them to know what we suffer. You know? It's all going to work itself out when the kids grow up and, you know, I have somebody to push me around in my wheelchair. But at this point, I walked in, I'm like, are you serious? How, guys? Man.
God almighty.
Okay, so what were you asking me?
It's the whole Kavanaugh situation.
What about it? What was the question? Who do I believe?
Who do I believe? I don't know. I don't know enough information even after the discussion. I mean, the three witnesses that were there said that they don't recall Kavanaugh being there. I think that that's pretty damning.
They don't remember him being there?
They don't remember him being at the place where she said that he assaulted her. So I think that that's problematic. I didn't come into the meeting with an open mind or neutral. I came into the meeting to the whole thing slanted toward in favor of the woman who was making the accusation.
Yeah.
The problem is that nasty sharing the same toothbrush. So I came in defaulting to believe her. I mean, but the problem is that if it's true that the three people that are named all state that Kavanaugh wasn't even there, then, you know, obviously that's a problem. All three people she named said the gathering never took place. I mean, I think that's a problem. And I think that...
Yeah.
I think it's a red herring to make all of this hype about the FBI investigation. I have a relative who works in the FBI. Believe me, it's... They're not going to come up with anything that's not already been said.
I don't know how they could anyway.
It's just theater when they're clawing for the FBI investigation. It's just
all these years. How many years?
Well, Peanut, call me up, buddy, because I want to talk about it.
I think that if it happened, it's really terrible that it happened. And I understand why people don't come forward when stuff like that happens to them. But I think that if I was in that situation, I would have either come forward before this. I wouldn't have strategically waited until it was this situation, because you're less likely for people are not going to believe that. People are going to think it's just a sleight of politics, which is exactly what it looks like.
Well, I mean, I don't know, because her narrative is she didn't say anything, but she had mentioned it to her therapist.
Yeah.
And it was in the notes of her therapist from years ago. I'm pretty sure, like, he's
really?
named to her therapist. And, like, she told her husband they had to go to couples therapy because when they were building their new house, she had 2 front doors, and it's because she was traumatized or whatever. And then it came out in the therapy session. This was, like, years ago.
Oh. Well, that doesn't look
So
good.
I haven't seen these notes, but that's what I heard. That's what I heard. So, you know, people are like making it like either or, like either she's a total horrible lying whatever, or he's a total horrible, you know, lying whatever. I think Ted Cruz brought up a good point, which was this whole thing could have been dealt with confidentially, but then the letter got leaked. And Feinstein is saying, none of my people did it, which I don't believe that at all. Yeah. So I think she can be used. Thank you, Mr. Gico Knight.
They say shout out back.
I think she could have been used by the Democrats, but it doesn't necessarily mean that she is a Democratic operative. You see what I'm saying?
No, I understand that's what you're saying, but like think a little bit. Like you're going to bring this out right at this point. It doesn't look like... It looks like you're doing it as a political move.
No. The letter being leaked looks to me like...
When did the letter get sent?
The letter got sent like 20 to 60 days or something before it actually the whole thing got released. What I'm saying is Ted Cruz brought up a good point that all of this could have been handled confidentially, and she wouldn't have had to have been named and had death threats and all this shit happen to her. But but Feinstein and her crew leaked it. I don't believe that that Feinstein didn't leak it.
Yeah.
I believe Feinstein leaked it so that they were using it as political capital. That's what I believe.
Have you guys put any thought into reviewing concept albums? If you do, I think the best way would be to listen to the whole album way through, then go back and do a song at a time. Yeah, actually, I had a thought of like, if there's a concept album, for us to review it and then break it up into a bunch of songs and then just have it in our like library of songs to release, so then we know more what we're talking about.
Well, isn't that how we do album reviews anyway?
Yes,
we listen to the whole thing all the way through. It's
way more important to do with a concept album than it is to do for a regular one. Like, I think all of them it's cool, but definitely better for a concept album because you know what the you're talking about.
Yeah, I guess. Regardless, to sit on the highest court, he should be squeaky clean. I mean, I remember when the whole Clarence Thomas and Anita Hill thing went down, and Clarence Thomas wasn't squeaky clean, and he served on the Supreme Court. So I don't think you have to be squeaky clean. I will say that if he did that shit, if he is the person that they're saying, I would say he's not fit for the Supreme Court. But just because somebody accuses you of something, you know, I think it's really dangerous to say just because somebody gets accused and now all of a sudden they're not qualified to serve in the Supreme Court.
Yeah, because then it can turn... Wait, babe, I don't want to lose anything. Okay, the Metal Stallion 22, we love you too. And then somebody said right here, David Ritter, he said he's going to beef with you, bruh.
Well, lots of people have beef with Vin. Call me. Tell me what the problem is, sir. Peanut was supposed to talk to me, though. Hold on.
Wow.
Damn, I feel slimy.
You just had brain surgery? Jeez.
Who did?
Where was it? Right here. Aaron Dowell. Well, we'll pray for a quick recovery. I'm glad you made it through.
She didn't have a problem with Kavanaugh being in Bush's White House staff, but a Supreme Court nomination happened. All of a sudden, it's her civic duty to report him. Yeah, I being on the White House staff is much different than being in the Supreme Court. One could argue that being in the Supreme Court is a more powerful position than being in the president. You don't have to campaign. You don't. I mean, it's a lifetime appointment. I think that's pretty crazy. KZ, somebody has beef with me. Kavanaugh's performance during the questioning should have been a dead giveaway. I don't know what you mean by that. If you've ever been accused of something that you didn't do, you know, I think in those situations, it doesn't matter how you act. If he was completely stone cold, they would have said, "Oh my God, if somebody would accuse me of rape, I would have been, all over the place." But then he's a very emotional and very angry. People go, "Look at that performance. Yeah. He must be guilty." Yeah. Like, when you're accused of something, it doesn't matter how you perform. People are going to interpret your demeanor in any way they want. It's the same. It's the same thing they're doing with Ford, because she was calm and she was laughing at some points. They go, "Oh, look at that!" No, she, if she was hysterical, then they would have said, "Oh, typical woman." You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Matthew, still all you've been. Here's some capitalist son of a bitch money. Jeremy, thank you. Do a review of Lordy's Rock Hallelujah song. Hard Rock Hallelujah.
Thank you to the super chatters. Yeah, Huntress. Let's see, lead singer. I think she was schizoaffective or schizophrenic.
What happened?
She ended up killing herself.
This recently?
If you have beef with Vin, you have beef with the village. I don't know. Half the village has beef with Vin.
I know.
I have beef with me, probably.
Oh, shoot. Remember we were supposed to shoot that real short video?
Yes.
I still want to do that.
But the guy that I was having that conversation with about confidence and faith, he's in the room. He just won't call me.
Sorry, you rock for liking Kiss and King Diamond. I told my dad I listened to the Kiss song. I think he's regretted telling me that he listened to that back when he was younger.
Yeah, right before this, Jay, I was playing Fortnite. I'm getting a little bit better with Fortnite.
I used to play Gears with him.
Gears of War, yeah.
Gears of War, yeah. But I'm not like I don't love video games. Like, I can't wait to play video games. Like, I'm not like that. There's things that I really love, but video games is not. There's very few things that I think couples choreography, dance, or however you say it, that's something that if I got into it, I would just go all out and want to do it every day.
I'm calm if someone accuses me about shit. I'm pretty calm too. Or I usually don't speak to defend myself. If something is bullshit or whatever, I'll just stay quiet. I'm not about going on Facebook and Twitter and trying to defend myself. I don't do that shit. So people around me know me, and if that's not good enough, then believe what you want.
Yeah.
Gears is a pretty good co-op game. Yeah, we're pretty close to getting our Twitch account set up, so.
What does that mean? Do you get salty, or do you play for fun and roll with the hard losses that come? Do you get upset about it?
I'll have to think about that.
When you're playing games? Video games? Is that what he's talking about?
Yeah.
You don't get salty and all in a bad mood.
Nah.
No. How is that? How do you have to think about that?
Well, because I don't know.
Happy birthday, Ryan.
Sorry. Do you ever watch them back? KZ, I watch back about 85% of the videos that we do.
I don't.
Sori doesn't, but I watch about 85% of them.
But I have a hard time to sit through our reviews sometimes. I just feel like I gotta move, sitting in the chair.
What's up, Emilink24? If you would do a game stream for Fireside, we're trying to set a couple things up. Vinny, I was only joking. Oh, it's all good. If you had a problem with me, Dave, call a brother. Nothing wrong with that. November's Doom. Disappointed in your Mad Season Take. Great album. The song was just way too draggy for me. What's up, Joseph? It was just draggy, and it just felt very long to me. I'm very sorry, but
Dexy, this is not the first time you've made it to a Fireside. He's been here before, hasn't he? Dexy Chan?
Yeah, Dexy Chan has been to a ton of Firesides.
Please. First time I made to a fire chat. These things are late as fuck.
Were you guys aware that Cannibal Corpse is part of a genre of death metal also known as brutal death metal, whose subject matter is fictional horror, before y'all reviewed them? No, of course not. But if I did know that, that wouldn't have changed my perspective on the song.
Look.
Oh.
I got another count for this name, Lamb Sauce of the Village.
Yes, I love the village.
That's awesome.
Suffixes. M Death Fan is on. M Death Fan.
Okay, hold on. I gotta. Hey, can Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. Hold on.
Okay, I've learned my lesson. I'm going to turn off the live stream audio here. So, I just wanted to call in really quick. First of all, how you guys doing?
We're doing good.
Doing all right.
Were you surprised? Were you surprised we finally got your review in?
No, oh, man, that was a great day because I woke up. It was just it was a rough week for work. I woke up and I saw that. I'm like, all right. So it really made my day. Huge Typo fan. So I'm really glad that you guys are starting to kind of like them. I know that your first one was Christian Woman, I believe it was, and that's kind of a rough, I'd say, first song for Typo Negative.
Love You
to Death, Anesthesia. I'm a big fan of these three things. I think you guys as Christians would love that one. But anyway, I just was calling about the Kavanaugh thing.
Go for it.
Okay. So anyway, I think any American should watch those opening remarks from both of those people today. I think, or the other day. I think Kavanaugh's opening remarks were like from the heart, no doubt about it. I mean, he's talking about his family's there. They had the time to do the hearings before. They really went and deep dived into his life. And then all of a sudden, after the hearing's over, we find out about this other lady that came forward with no evidence, nothing, other than the story. And we find out during that hearing that they got the letter back in July, and Feinstein had him lawyer up then. They knew this was like in their back pocket, just waiting to try to delay. That's all it really is. And it was really sad because, if you watch that, I mean, you know the truth when you hear it. And
well, what did you think of Ford's testimony?
I came in with an open mind. So she showed up, she started talking. She's apparently a psychologist, right? And just some things I picked up on where she's like making little, jokes about, I like my caffeine and my coffee, he, he, he. And then through the actual explanation of what took place, I saw no tears. I saw no emotion. I saw, in my opinion, I deal with people all the time. In what I do, I can I'm pretty good at reading people. I'd like to think that I am. And I just thought, maybe that happened to her at some point in her life, but I just can't, for the life of me, think that what she's saying is true, especially when you look into all what Kavanaugh talked about during his opening remarks was you have all these different left-wing groups that were getting a lot of money to try to help fund this and to help this and get behind it. And when you look at that and her lawyers that were there, they kind of look shiesty to me.
Well, so let me push back.
Sure.
I don't think I've actually said my opinion of the whole thing yet.
I don't think so.
But why does she need to have emotion or crying to be like, I've seen a bunch of memes and I actually agree with them. Like, as a woman, if she were to go out there and be hysterical, then it would have been, oh my God, here's this, here we go, women, blah, blah, blah. I mean, is it possible that she was preconditioned to remain as calm as possible?
I think, I don't know. You're right. I think everyone that comes forward with something like that should at least be listened to. But, I mean, you're talking about a judicial system. Thank God it's like this, by the way, that you have to be the one that produces evidence for something that you're going to basically. This guy's been in the public spotlight for, 25 years?
I agree with that.
And you're
right.
I'm just going to say, Vin, hey, Vin, 10 years ago you touched me.
Right.
And, it's just me against you. So you got to have some type of corroborative evidence there. And, if you have nothing and the people that you say were with you are saying that they don't know what happened, and it just so happens that, this happened after the hearings and it came forward, it was magically leaked, after the hearings that already took place.
Right.
It just, the whole thing looks terrible. And then when you listen, the thing is, for me, it's almost like when you listen to his remarks, I think a lot of people might have actually gotten a little misty-eyed listening to that guy talk. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I got kids, and I listen to this guy, his family's there, his wife's sitting behind him, his mom, his dad, his talking about his daughters, basically, he's a very religious guy, apparently, and, talking about his daughters praying for the woman, things like that. I mean, yes, it's just him providing dialogue, but you can just, I don't know, you look into somebody's eyes and you see them. For me, I mean, I think everybody should watch that. It was about a 45-minute opening session, and the media today is the problem, because I started going online and I started watching all the news channels right away, and you start to see immediately, like, the interview's cut to ribbons, which is par for the course today, right? Everything's about trying to manipulate and spin whatever's coming out today. It's basically a monolithic media versus Fox News. Let's be real. That's all it is. It's all the news media organizations versus Fox News.
Now let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, MDev fan. Are you a conservative?
I would say I lean more towards. I'm a more libertarian. If I had to be put under the gun, but I hate party lines and I hate being labeled. It's always been my thing to kind of resist that.
But you're more conservative. You're definitely not liberal. You're not a leftist.
I'm a classical liberal, so that means like a libertarian, more leaning. As long as I don't know if that means, but that's where not definitely not modern day liberal. I think they're absolutely insane.
Right. So you okay. So
hey, stop manspreading, Vin. I'm gonna pour some bleach on you.
Right. I posted that as a social experiment because I wanted to see how people would react. And I was very shocked at the emotion that I heard from the men in the comment section. The men were extremely emotional. I would fuck her up, blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you something. If I was on a train and I saw that happen and some dude started pounding on the girl, I would still go after the guy.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Like, fucking control yourself. Okay.
But like at the same time, you're like, who the hell do you think you are?
I know.
First of all, there's open seats.
I know.
Like half the bus is open.
I know. Look, I'm a feminist, but this young lady is doing a lot of harm to the movement for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay. Vin can't manspread when he doesn't have legs. Okay, but
well, you can still spread prosthetics.
MDev man, like she said this to her therapist years ago.
Okay.
And that's on record.
Yeah, there's a really important fact to know about that. No names were named then. That's a huge fact.
Okay.
There was not like it was not Kavanaugh. It was not him. It was just this happened. This occurred.
Right.
So that's a huge distinction, I think.
A lot of people.
That's weird.
A lot of people are saying that they do believe something happened to her, but it wasn't Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying that.
Yeah, that is weird because I know a lot of people that would talk to us, and whenever I talk to other people, like when I sat down and talked with you about some of the things that happened to me, I gave you all the details, including the names. You know, and all the people that talked to us would always tell us the person's name if they knew the person's name. And it was part of the. So that's interesting that she didn't tell that to her counselor.
Yeah, that was like back in 2012, I think it was. But yeah, no names apparently. So.
Yeah.
Don't look too good.
I'm not saying it's like a definitive thing, but I just think that is odd.
I think for something to establish like any sort of like notion of true guilt to me for something that happened that far back, you'd have to get everybody saying, yeah, he was there. You got three people that she named.
I would hope so, Vin. I mean, I really would. What kind of world do we want to live in? I mean, I'm 37, so I'd be one.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago. You know, like to get into, you know, the funny part was that I did see her say was like, you know, like this is 37.
Okay, here's Violence Peatscraft. See, hold on for a second. Violence Peatscraft, please call me. So you guys are fine with victim blaming and shaming. And, well, of course, people don't want to be Cav election time is coming up. And, well, they want to get rid of Roe v. Wade. Okay, Violence Peacecraft, please call me. I am not fine with victim shaming, and I am not fine with victim blaming. I just said at the beginning of this entire thing that I did not go into watching these things with an open mind. I went slanted in bias toward Miss Ford. Mm-hmm. Because I've always said I don't believe in neutrality or people are open-minded. So I didn't come into it with an open mind. I came into it with a bias to believe the woman. The problem is that she doesn't have witnesses stating that he was even there, much less that he committed this assault. God.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And
what the hell is happening?
So as soon as Ruth Bader Ginsburg drops dead, which is probably going to happen sometime, you know, or she's going to at least retire, you know, it's going to stop good people from coming forward because, you know, maybe you have gone through the life to become to sit, to sit in that seat someday. You've busted your butt your entire life, but do you want to go through that media scrutiny where they're just going to tear you apart for political reasons, for partisan reasons, destroy this man's family. I mean, he's never going to be able to live. I mean, regardless if he's innocent or not, which I tend to believe he's innocent, but it's never going to be able to go away, and his girls are going to have to deal with that.
I agree.
Look, let me bring another angle in here, because people keep talking about victim blaming. I want people to think really closely about the history of African American men in America and false accusation and the shit that's happened. Emmett Till, I don't know if you guys remember that. The Emmett Till, a white woman, said that he was making passes at her, and they fucking dragged this kid through the streets and beat him to death, unrecognizable, that his own mother couldn't recognize him. Okay? Rosewood, same shit. Entire city of black folks got killed because of false accusation. So it's not as simple as believe the woman all the time because you hate. There's a lot of complexities to this situation.
Yep.
And recently, the woman that got Emmett Till killed finally came out and said, nah, he didn't actually say anything to me. So it's not as simple as saying either you believe the woman or you're victim blaming. Stop it. We got to use reason here. Let's use reason. What could have protected a kid like Emmett Till? He was 13 years old. He was Dorian's age. What could have protected a kid like Emmett Till? You know what would have protected him? An actual trial.
Yeah.
With actual evidence.
Right.
What would have protected the men of Rosewood? An actual trial with actual evidence. So when I look back at my past and my ancestors, this is not as simple as men are powerful and women need to come up and speak. Now, like I said, I am a feminist and I default to the women. I understand that men in power have been able to get away with a bunch of evil shit. I also know that women have been able to destroy and literally have my ancestors killed on false accusation. Okay? So I don't want to live in an America where you can just point the finger and then somebody will get blamed and then thrown in jail. It just so happens that this guy is a white, powerful person. So if somebody accuses him falsely, the worst that can happen to him is he doesn't get a seat in the Supreme Court. Well, what happens to me if I get accused falsely? Okay? So let's stop with this. If you don't agree with her, all of a sudden now you're victim blaming. Let's stop and think and use rationality to come to our conclusions.
Right. I agree.
All right, I'm off the soapbox. Sorry, I'm Deaf Fan. Go ahead, you're up.
No, I think that's great, man. I think you nailed it on the head. You hit it right on the head, because it's like you can't lead with your heart and emotions only, because you have to sit back and think about, what you have to have due process. If you don't believe that, then you need to have a civics class. And unfortunately, they probably don't really make that a requirement anymore in school. But yeah, due process, man. Otherwise, I could say anything about anybody.
Okay, sister, hold on. Peacecraft, call me and tell me where I said anything about victim blaming and victim shaming. Call me and talk to me, because I really want to know where I went off the rails here. Because it seems to me that unless you believe this woman without any preconditions at all, that you just completely believe her, just on the virtue of her accusation, that you're now victim shaming.
Yeah.
So I want you to call me and tell me how I'm doing that. It's a sincere question. And MDeath, I keep blacksplaining you and interrupting you. Go ahead and talk.
You don't have to say that. No, it's absolutely fine, man. I'm glad that we're able to talk about this. I think it's super important.
Yeah, and I want us to talk. I just want us to. We got to talk in such a way that we don't immediately accuse each other of stuff. I'm assuming the best of everybody that agrees or disagrees with me on every topic. I'm assuming the best of you, and I think we just need to do that. Go ahead, MDeath. Good Lord.
Well, I appreciate that. You're in a tough spot, Reno. You're kind of the moderator of all this, watching the comments fly by and while we talk about things, so I can understand. It can't be easy. But anyway, no, I mean, that's basically all, man. The last thing I'm going to say is, people, before you have an opinion, in my personal opinion, who the hell am I, right? But if you really want to be able to have an opinion about this, watch the actual uncut, unedited opening remarks from both people. And then what does your heart tell you? Before you listen to the media that tell you how to think, because that's what they do now. It's very op-ed-like, right? It's not just like it was when we were kids, where it was like, here's the news, here's the facts, you decide, kind of thing. It's totally slanted.
Okay,
so
now
it's really hard.
Now hold on for a second, MDeath Fan. What about cases like Brock Turner, who basically got out with no real, nothing really happened to him, and then the judge or his dad were basically like, this is a case of like why we shouldn't have promiscuity, basically calling the woman a slut who survived this sexual assault. Isn't it true that in our country, on the other hand, women are not encouraged to come forward, especially when the person is a powerful male or a male with some sort of influence?
You're probably right. I mean, that's the thing we have to teach, I think, our daughters and sisters and all that. My fiance was, she had a case of sexual abuse when she was very young. Not like she was actually touched or anything that way, but it's, and I don't want to go into the details of it, but I listen to her, and my heart goes out to her. But, we have to teach them to, like, hey, if this happens, there has to be some kind of mechanism that allows them to go report it. It has to be, because if you don't report it, then you don't provide evidence, and then you wait 36 years, well, or whatever it might be, it becomes very difficult. I'm all for putting these a-holes in jail. If you do something like that, if it's my daughter or sister, well, you're probably going to die. But other than that, you really, I want those people to go to jail. There needs to be due process. If you're guilty, you go to jail. That's it. That's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, okay, so there's like the legal process, but isn't it true, I just want you to admit on record that a lot of these young women, and regardless of whether or not they're anybody's sister or whatever, I'm just saying their own personal autonomy as an image bearer of God, regardless. Isn't it true that they get dragged through the mud and their lives get ruined? And then, and you kind of heard it like, what's his face? Graham was saying, you're ruining this guy's life, which I hear a lot with, we had a situation where, with a young lady where there was a family member who assaulted her when she was much younger. Mm-hmm. And it seemed clear to me, again, I'm not God, so I wasn't there, but it seemed clear to me that it happened. Mm-hmm. And there was there's nothing legal because there was no evidence, but there was a confrontation, and there was all of this, you're ruining the family, you're doing this and that. Like, aside from the legal aspect of it, doesn't the woman have a lot more to lose, generally speaking, when she comes forward? And do you think that we have an obligation to create environments where she doesn't have to pay that social cost?
I do. And I think it might have been more that way in the past than it is now, because, I mean, if you look at it now, you could literally potentially ruin the person's life with no evidence at all. So I'm not sure if the tables have shifted in 2018, but it certainly was like that in the past. I'm imagine in the 50s, like, it'd probably be very difficult for a woman to come forward.
In the 50s? No, the situation I talked about was 2 years ago, my guy. Not in the 50s.
I don't know the story you're talking about, the Brock Turner story. That is the way that it is. I mean, I need to know the details of it. But what I'm getting at is that I do want women to be able to. I have a sister, I want people and women that I love in my family. Of course, I want that to be okay for them to come forward. But at the same time, also educated in such a way that they know that you need to do it right away. You have to find some mechanism or some way of doing it, and also provide evidence so that you can put this a-hole in jail forever, or potentially. Other than no evidence at all, and then it becomes a she said thing, and then here we are.
All right, that's fair. Appreciate you, my guy.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
You too, buddy.
Bye-bye.
That's my guy. I'm Death Fan.
David, I already told you guys how to call. I said you have to go through Skype.
Well, hold on. I want Peacecraft to call me. Hold on. Wait. Hold on.
We do have shirts available. See if you can still order one on the website. If not, go to, how do they order the shirt? Through the PayPal.
Hold on. Violence Peacecraft tried to call.
Oh.
So she's going to get priority. So go. You can talk to everybody.
Yeah, but I forget. I always forget how they get to. Is it go to PayPal and do Vin and Sori merch?
Peacecraft, do me a favor. What? PayPal? VinandSoriMerch@gmail.com for the shirt?
Yeah.
VinandSoriMerch@gmail.com.
Then just tell us what size you need. I have, quite a few sizes on hand. I guess I definitely need to update. I was wondering why we weren't getting any sales. The website says we're completely out of everything.
Oh my.
No.
Allah Almighty.
The shipping on the shirt is free if you're in the U.S. If you're outside of the U.S., you have to tack on an extra $15 for shipping.
All right. Peacecraft. All right, Peacecraft. The
Yeah, I'm calling, but it says you guys are busy. It
says unavailable. Well, it's busy because I was trying to call you. Okay, Peacecraft. Okay, there she is, Miss
the
America.
Sori secret shirt.
Hello.
This that says maybe you're sick because of your secrets. Oh, there's feathers in the front because I have a feather pillow.
Peacecraft.
Yep.
Hello.
So if anybody wants one.
Okay, Peacecraft.
So people can see.
Oh my gosh.
Well, somebody's asking, what does it look like?
Violence, Peacecraft. Talk to me. Hello. Okay. Oh, it's a woman? Okay, call me again. I thought...
What do you mean, KZ? What happened? KZ, he said that he had a scare with his wife.
Whoa.
They're the ones that are pregnant. I'll type the information right now. You go to paypal.com and you type in Vin and Sori merch.
Yeah,
at gmail.com.
That's bullshit, KZ. And it's also blasphemous to compare Bill fucking Cosby to Jesus. And I don't care what race he is. He was obviously guilty as fuck. And he got caught, and he only got 3 years for doing all that evil shit to all those women. Fuck him. I'm not going to say what just popped into my head. God forgive me. But you bring race into it, and then you compare the guy to Jesus. It's extremely frustrating to me. It's extremely frustrating. And it is racial in the sense that black folk tend to default to defending the black person, whether or not they're guilty or innocent. So, like, black folk know that OJ basically beheaded that woman, and will defend him to the death because he's black. Now, there's, like, societal and historical reasons for that, because there's a lot of pent-up rage because of injustice, but that doesn't justify it. So, fuck Bill Cosby. That's how I feel about it.
Hey, MP, wake up! Hey, MP. Leslie's like, yell to MP, wake him up. I wanted to pay attention to what you guys are doing.
God almighty, Fred. Hey, Lilo's here. What's up, Lilo? So what if Vin is a feminist? I am.
Yes, Selah, if you're outside of the U.S. Oh, yeah, you are.
Saleh?
So I know I would say it wrong because it's like I go by Selah. Yes, you're outside of the U.S., so yes. You have.
I'm not black, I'm OJ.
40 and it's yours.
Okay.
What size do you need? I'll tell you if I have any on hand. It's sad that your only experience with mayhem is freezing moon. Hey, old school fan.
What's up, slaughtered lamb?
Is that the little kid?
That's a little kid? Yeah, I think so. Yes, Blazing Heat. Request a song from Machine Head. Vin is a feminist and Sori is a misogynist. Sori is a misandrist. She's not a misogynist.
What's a misandrist?
Somebody who hates men.
Yeah.
That's you. For sure. Hello!
I thought Angry Sori was fun. Angry gloves off Vin is great.
Hello! Why can't I hear?
Is the speaker on?
Yeah, everything's on. Everything's perfect. Hello! Hello? I can't hear you. There's something wrong. Are you, like, on mute? Because I can't hear you.
Oh, the slaughtered lamb 36-year-old little kid, Vin and Sori.
Okay, so that's lamb sauce. Lamb sauce is the one.
Shh, Josh, just send it.
I'm calling. I'm trying to call.
Send it through the secret, the secret means. Did you see that?
Hey, Osiris. Long time no chat. Sorry, I need an XXL shirt.
I think I do.
Hello. Oh, I just had her. Hold on.
Yep, right here.
Tell her to put her foot. Hey, Holly Hawks.
Okay, it's boring, guys.
Sori is a massage therapist. Kinda. She kinda is. Pachon. Hey, Uncle Dan's dumbassery. Vin,
yes, he did. I showed it to him.
Yeah, the cannibal corpse meme. Yeah. What is this show about?
You can't answer? Is she calling? Or
I'm
what's happening?
calling her.
The person whom you're trying to reach is currently unavailable. Please leave a message after.
It's saying you're unavailable. Violence Peacecraft. I love that name, by the way. Violence Peacecraft. That's so badass.
Okay, I'll hold that one for you. I don't know, Chris.
Do you guys hold any sort of
decided.
Do you guys have any kind of theology degree? No. Sorry, babe.
What sizes you have for the more rotund? I have larger sizes. What size do you want? I think like
I'm a guy, by the way.
Oh, the one that's trying to call in?
Yeah, Peacecraft. The whole time I thought it was a girl. Huh? Well, call me, Violence Peacecraft. I'm a dude. Call me! Do you listen to Yellow Wolf? No.
Okay, so I have 2X. These are for the bigger sizes. I have smaller sizes too. I have 2 3X and 2 2X and 1 5X on hand. So if you want any of those.
Zombie Rider 75.
Fred, I don't think
shit.
That's a thing.
Oh, you just made a sale. So our fucking website has been...
I know. I was like, we're not making any sales.
Nobody's sewing. Nobody wants
these Sori shirts anymore. We better do the Vin ones quickly.
God almighty. Where is what's his name when you need him? Do Carnivalville, Vin, so you'd be happy. It's true. It's true. Somebody's calling me, but I'm leaving it open for Violence Peacecraft to call me. I'm going to try to get to the post office pretty early this week. So if you put yours in tonight, and if I have your size on hand, then I can... Juggalo, the Sabbath is Saturday. Oh, hey, Jay. Finally made the damn fireside. T-shirt order place on PayPal. RW, what size did you put on there? Because I can't pull it up right now because we're doing this, but I want to make sure that I pull yours aside. And then this one, put that one over there because that one, Selah said, or Machine Salah, Head Imperium. That was the next Machine Head song we were gonna do. Pudding Pop? That sounds disgusting. Feminism is venomous and does not exist to do any good these days. I disagree with you, Dark Waters. I don't believe that feminism is venomous. What that was. Booyah, let the fuckery commence. Who said RW, that? Tell me. What size you ordered? Forgive her. Forgive her. You need forgive her, shirts. How could you say that feminism is venomous? What are you talking about? Are you willing to do an album review of Damnation in a Day? Yes, we actually have Damnation in a Day. Somebody sent it to us. We're going to do Anima is the next full album review that we're going to do. Oh, yeah. We watched Game of Thrones all the way through. I still think feminism is absolutely necessary. Rawl, not knowing the meaning behind the song is keeping me from buying it. Did you tell people? Like, can we say? Or what? Are we leaving it up for people's imagination? What are you talking about? The meaning behind the shirt. What song? What shirt? Maybe you're sick because of your secrets. I I don't know what you're asking about.
Rawl, are you serious? You don't know what it means? Oh, okay. I got you, RW. I'll put yours aside right now.
About feminism.
Yeah, they're just...
The era of feminism is a reason that men are not men anymore, but hunched over cowards. You want to blame men's cowardice on feminism? So just because women finally stood up for themselves and said, "Fuck you, motherfuckers, we have a voice, and you're gonna treat us as actual equals," that then makes men hunched over cowards? I don't understand that. I don't understand that logic.
Juice Ghost. I agree. Yes, RW, I got yours. I just put it over to the side.
I need somebody to. So obviously, Violence Peacecraft is having a technical difficulty.
Oh, you're welcome, Ryan. Are you really 12?
But okay, Fred Flinter. Fred Flinter. Please call me and tell me why feminism has turned men into hunched over cowards. Feminism is only hated by white men in power who are terrified to lose it. Okay, I'm not going to comment on that. Fred, call me and explain to me why feminism makes men into hunched over cowards. Oh, Sop with Soupy. That throw it in the video earlier today, you were thinking Seven Swords because of the Seven Kingdoms of Westeros. Seven Kingdoms is also an awesome power metal band. Okay, I'm with that.
Mm-hmm. I love it when people still make me seem like smart when they interpret my crazy.
Well,
I know. I keep trying to get Jen to call in.
So, Vin, are you against meritocracy? If a woman is less qualified for a job than a cis white male, do you believe women should get the job? Well, that assumes that everybody starts the race at the same place. That's not true. Everybody does not start the race at the same place. And so if there are structures in place to account, this happens in golf, right? You have a handicap in golf. We do this in other realms of life. So if there are things there to see, this is not when we talk about like capitalism and egalitarianism and things of that nature. There's this myth that you just pull yourself up by your bootstraps and you can make it. Bullshit. There are certain groups of people that have certain advantages in our culture. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that you're bad because you have those advantages, because I have some of those advantages. All I'm saying is, if there are things that are done to account for those advantages to equalize the playing field, I don't see what the problem is. Let the best Homo sapien in the image of God win in that situation. If I'm going up against somebody and they have a handicap or something like that, that's making it so that I have an unfair advantage as a competitor, I want that evened out so that we could see who's the best. I'm not afraid of that. What's the problem? But I still need somebody to call me and explain to me why feminism is somehow emasculating to men. Hello.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes. I can hear you. Now, is this Violence Peacecraft?
Yes, this is Violence Peacecraft.
Okay. I need you to explain to me, Mr. Peacecraft, why you accused me of being good with victim shaming and victim blaming.
Well, no, I was asking a question because, okay, like with the Kavanaugh thing, right? And everyone, with the Kavanaugh, everyone is like, basically saying, oh, this can't happen because this can't happen, or that mentality of it can't happen. Yet, the doctor, who is a shrink herself, has, numerous cases, And I'm not saying, and it's just like it's. If you've actually, because I don't, have you guys watched it? Like,
Yeah,
have you watched the interview, both of them?
I watched both of them.
Just okay, because she was cool and calm, and the fact that let me mute this. But the fact that she, was cool and calm and responsive, and if she was hysterical, because lots of women don't report this stuff because there's always some, way to turn it back, or it gets turned on them to make it seem like they merited or they wanted or it's their fault. And as the person said, like, I watched both sides of the interview. I've actually watched all of it, and he's getting the fact that he's getting so defensive, like, I don't know, the fact that he's getting so defensive and he's literally yelling, like, if you or I did that in court, then on the stand we would probably get remanded or sent to the back. You know what I mean?
Well, Clarence Thomas, were you watching the proceedings for Clarence Thomas during the whole Anita Hill fiasco?
I watched a bit of it, but I didn't know enough, to be brutally honest. I didn't know the situation completely.
Okay,
so
I watched it. I watched it when it was happening, and he was quite emotional at times too.
He was? Yeah, like I said, I'll full on admit, I didn't watch the whole thing. I glanced at it, but I was also busy doing other stuff. But
okay, so hold on. So what did I say that prompted that question from you?
Well, what was said is because, okay, what was said was, how's it, the guy that was previously talking before me, and a couple people in chat were saying, they're saying, okay, hey, women should come up and do this, women should come up and do that, and I'm like, you do realize that this has historically been happening for 50 plus years, where it's just boys will be boys mentality, or she shouldn't have worn that V-neck shirt, or some bullshit reason.
Yeah, but my previous caller wasn't saying that. My previous caller was saying we've got to find some actual even circumstantial evidence in order to validate
intel and evidence. But at the same time, like, because your previous caller was like, people are getting emotional, and it's like, as someone who is African American myself, getting emotional, and I'm pretty sure you've lived through this yourself. Hi, Sori, by the way.
Hi.
You've lived through this yourself, where no matter what you say or do or how you react, there's always going to be someone who is going to have the angry card. And in this case, it's not so much, it's the fact that she's a shrink herself, and she understands how the memory, because a lot of people in chat were like, oh, the memory is a fickle thing, and all this stuff, and it's like, it's yes and no, but it also depends on the person, because there is different types of memory, and the fact that a lot of people are sitting here they're literally willing to take and throw away, like, she's making this whole thing up, about why does she have to make this, why is she making this up, what does she gain from making this up, versus Kavanaugh, who, just like everyone's like, oh, if you have nothing, you're not going to lose it. That's not a good mentality, because if you're up there with power and everything, not to mention, if we're going to make it political and whatnot, the Conservative Party has been trying to make the Supreme Court justices for almost 20-ish years, and it's like, for the fact of the matter, yes, evidence and whatnot, actual, but do you really think, like, and this is what the point I'm trying to make is, as he said, or at least the vibe I got from the previous guy, it's like, people need to come up, women need to speak up, and it's, because I do have female family members and stuff like that, as well as you do, and it's okay. This whole thing about them seeing this, little girls seeing this, and them speaking out, and then they're just going to get their whole life ripped apart. And some people, aren't even going to make that effort because they already know, sadly, in our society, or at least in the U.S., in our society, it's generally a accuser / usually gets turned into, a victim, and vice versa, and whatnot. And the fact that, Kavanaugh, the way Kavanaugh was acting, like, if he was truly innocent or whatnot,
I hear you.
Why is everyone getting, like, so upset? So upset about the fact that, okay, hey, why can't we just move the hearing back so that the FBI and everything can do a full-on, unobstructed investigation?
What do you think? What do you think is going to happen if the FBI does an investigation?
What do I think is going to happen?
Yeah.
Well, I can sit here and say, what do I think? What ifs all day and all night? The FBI need to do their investigation.
Yeah, but what will
the truth from there.
What will that accomplish?
Well, it'll literally what it can accomplish, and yes, this might be wishful thinking, whatever, is it'll be down to a reason, because it'll be a reason, and in all this madness of literally just he said, she said, and
that's literally what will happen with an FBI investigation. They're going to interview witnesses. They're going to take opposing statements, and then they're going to draft what's known as a 302, and that's all that's going to come of it.
And that is that is the legal means of it, which I'm fine with.
But the FBI stuff is just political theater. People, that's just okay. Thank you for the call. I appreciate your clearing that up for me, my guy. Much love to you. Okay, Fred Flintstone.
Our history teacher wants us to sign his shirt.
Oh, is this solid?
Yeah,
we could do it on video.
Yeah.
Okay, where's the shirt?
I passed him to you, babe.
I need Fred Flintstone to call me and explain to me why feminism is destroying men in America. I really need to hear this. Really need to hear this. FBI findings are irrelevant. Yeah, I mean, I need Fred to call me, or if you believe that feminism is cancer. First of all, I don't like that term feminism. Feminism is cancer because cancer is cancer. But if you believe that feminism is bad and that it's caused the emasculation of men across the country, I wanna know that. Where's Fred?
Okay, here you go, babe.
Yeah.
Yes, I got the 2X.
Jen G and Sori would also like to know. Vin.
Be careful, you can't bend it like that. You'll get paint everywhere.
Okay, I'm signing now. I'll just make sure that it's authentic.
Yeah. Then I'll show it to you.
Boop. Signed.
Signed for the history teacher.
All right, somebody's calling me.
There you go. There you go. Do-do-do-do-do.
Hello.
Hey, Vin.
Hey, is this Fred Flintstone?
No, actually, this is not. This is a slaughtered lamb.
All right, the slaughtered lamb. Do you believe that feminism is the cause of the emasculation of American men?
I wouldn't say so. I would say being an incel is.
I agree. So what does that have to do with feminism, though?
But, okay, what's wrong with being a Western chauvinist?
What's wrong with being a what? Say that again. You're breaking up, buddy.
Western chauvinist. Man, we're always breaking up.
What's wrong with being a Western chauvinist?
Yeah. Well, isn't it the same thing as being a feminist?
No, because women don't start off in a society with the power. Men do. So if you're a chauvinist, you're already coming from a position of power.
Western chauvinist, though.
Say again?
A Western chauvinist, not just a chauvinist.
Well, what's the difference? What are the defining attributes of Western chauvinism versus standard chauvinism?
A Western chauvinist doesn't apologize for creating the modern world.
Who created the modern world? Tell me.
Well, we as people.
Who is we as people? Who
We
are
as
these
people are both male and female.
Okay, so when you say a Western chauvinist, what is the chauvinist side of it?
The chauvinist is just you just don't apologize.
No, that's not what chauvinist means. Give me the dictionary definition of chauvinist.
I don't have it on hand.
Okay, so when you say Western chauvinist, you're talking about men who are saying, I'm not going to apologize for being a man.
We should venerate the housewife and you know, do what we do to better this world.
That we should denigrate the housewife?
Venerate.
That we should venerate the housewife.
Yeah.
Okay. Why should we venerate the housewife over and against venerating the successful businesswoman?
That's up to them.
Say again?
That's up to them, but I have no problem with it. But I believe that there is nothing wrong with it. So if a woman wants to, you know, raise her kids and not have to work and have the man provide, what's wrong with that? Why do we need feminism to destroy what she actually wants?
No, feminism isn't about destroying what a woman actually wants. What its aim is to establish women as equal contributors and as such having equal rights in a given society.
I totally agree with that. That's not the point that I'm getting at. I'm just saying that feminism, to me, just sounds like, I can't think of the word. It sounds to me like it's just a point to, yes, let our voices be heard, but yet at the same time we don't want to participate.
Who's we?
We can be. That's an obtuse, part. I don't know.
Okay. Well,
I'm not smart enough.
No. I'm just trying.
That part.
No, it's not. It's not about not being smart enough. It's just, I think there's a lot of misunderstandings as to what feminism is and what the aims of feminism are, and I think that's why it's an important discussion to have. You're breaking up, buddy.
Do I suppose Hello?
Okay, I think you're back. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yep, go for it, buddy.
Okay. No. There was one point I actually heard earlier about abortion and stuff like that, which I'm totally against.
Yeah.
But and I'm anti-theist, so let's boggle that one.
You're against abortion, and you're also against God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's one to ponder.
That's a very.
Somebody said, and I thought this was a fair point, that I'm pro-choice, but I'm but I'm anti-abortion.
Right. You think that women should have the choice to do it. You just don't think
It's not my body.
It's not your body. Okay. Well, okay. All right. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I know that I contribute and everything like that, but, it just, if I was, personally, if that happened, I would probably vote against it, but who am I to say?
I hear you. All right, man, I appreciate you.
All right.
Have a good one.
Thanks.
Okay, I have to make another update about the shirts.
Okay, go ahead.
So I still have quite a few sizes here. I still have a couple 3X shirts and a 5X and some smaller ones like mediums and large, or maybe extra large and stuff. So if you want to get it, if you order right now and let me know if you want it signed, we can sign them on the video right now. But you got to put it through. Go to PayPal and look up Vin and Sori merch at gmail.com, and then it's $25 if you're in the US because we don't charge you for shipping, and then if you're outside of the US you got to pay $40 so it covers the cost of the shipping. So
okay, and I'm still waiting for Fred Flint. I keep saying Fred Flintstone. I shouldn't say that, but Fred Flint.
Fred, where you at, bro?
I'm still waiting on him to call me to explain to me why feminism is to blame for men being hunched over cowards.
The way to call in is to go to Skype and then look up Vin and Sori.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, Matthew Winter, what's up, buddy?
Yeah. So, actually, it's that topic.
Okay, go for it.
So, I will submit to you simply the term toxic masculinity.
Well,
and the fact that term even exists when it probably didn't exist like 5 years ago.
Do you believe that there's such a thing as toxic masculinity?
I believe there's such a thing as toxic humanity. We're all toxic. Like I'm not toxic because I'm a dude. I'm toxic because I'm a person.
Okay, that's toxic masculinity is not about being toxic because you're a dude. That's not what toxic masculinity is about.
Well, that's what the term implies.
No. The reason there's an adjective in front of the word toxic masculinity is to separate it from standard masculinity. That's the entire reason you put the term toxic in front of it. Because what they're saying is there's a brand of masculinity that's toxic. Do you not agree with that?
Well, of course I do.
So what's the problem?
That's a good question.
I would assume as a Christian that you would automatically agree that there would have to be of necessity a brand of masculinity that's toxic, considering you believe in original sin.
Of course.
Okay. Well then, wouldn't it by default indicate that there would be toxic masculinity then?
Well, of course.
So what's the problem?
Well, there's also toxic masculine femininity, and there's also toxic just humanity.
You know what the difference is?
But they're not talked about. No one talks about it.
Do you know why?
Focus is this toxic masculinity thing.
Wait a second. Don't you believe that men are the leaders of a society? Don't you believe that?
So far.
It's a yes or no question, brother. Do you believe that men are called to be the leaders of a society?
Yes.
Okay. And that means that we're generally the ones that are in power in a given society, yes?
Sure.
Okay. So then why would we talk about toxic femininity when we're the ones that have the most influence in a given culture? we have more consequence if we're toxic than women do. Isn't that true? You can't say that we're the leaders of society and then want to say, well, what about the toxic femininity? No, we're the ones with the power generally in a society, right?
Absolutely.
So if we get toxic, it's a lot more dangerous for society, isn't it? Okay.
That toxicity spreads.
Okay. So then, even as a Christian, who did God call for after they ate the fruit?
He called for Adam.
He called for the man. He held men. Well, why didn't Adam say, well, why are you calling for me? It was her. It's her toxic femininity. You can't have it both ways. We want the power. Look, this is my problem. We want the power as men, but we don't want the accountability that comes with that power. And so when these... Huh?
Who does? Who wants to be accountable?
Well, when these women get together and says, fuck you guys are abusing your power, and it's getting toxic and motherfuckers are dying. Who are doing all the shootings? Who's doing all the mass shootings in America? Is it women? Who's responsible for the majority of the violent crimes in America?
Well, men, for sure.
Okay, so when these women get together and say, you motherfuckers are violent as hell, and there's some real social consequences to your toxic masculinity, why do we have a problem getting held accountable for it?
I have no problem with accountability.
Well, you do. You just came in and said the term toxic masculinity was an evidence of why feminism is bad.
Here's a question. Do you think that maybe it's almost it's almost a backlash, like, as a result of feminism?
What is our toxic
masculinity? Men are trying to be hyper male.
Oh, so it's the women's fault that we're toxically masculine.
No.
You just said it was a backlash of feminism. So that means it's really the women's fault. If those damn women would have just stayed in their place, then we wouldn't have to be so toxically masculine.
No, women can do whatever they want.
No, but you phrased that question. You said that toxic masculinity is a backlash of feminism.
Vin, did you see the interview with Jordan Peterson and the English feminist lady? I don't remember her name.
Yeah, the one that kept putting words in his mouth?
Right, where he was trying to explain the difference of equality of opportunity and equality of outcome.
Yep.
Yeah. So
what does that have to do with what you just said? Because I want to hold you accountable, Winner. Hold on. You said
I'm going somewhere else.
You said that toxic masculinity is a result of feminism. Is a backlash of feminism.
I didn't think it through. I am admitting that I'm going somewhere else.
Okay. So now you're retracting that statement.
I'm not retracting it. I'm leaving it out there as a query to be pondered. I haven't thought it through.
But I want you to understand the implications of even asking that question. Because to me, you just demonstrated why feminism is still very necessary. Because what I'm getting from that is, I'm just telling you what I'm getting from it. What I'm getting from that is, I just gave you examples of, thank you very much, Arturo.
Wow.
I just gave you examples of some extreme forms of toxic masculinity, right? And then you came, which ended in death. Then you came back and said to me, is it possible that that's a backlash of feminism? Which means the implication from that is, if we didn't have feminism, we wouldn't have this toxic masculinity. Which means that we're blaming women for these dudes going out and committing heinous acts of violence. Don't you see the problem with even asking the question that way?
How they deal with, how they feel about it.
Say that again.
It is still it's still the fault and the responsibility, obviously, of the people who choose to do those things as a result of, feeling threatened isn't the right word, but I don't know. I just feel like men aren't allowed to be men anymore in the classic sense.
Who's not allowing them to be men?
Society.
Okay, how is society not allowing men to be men?
Have you read Wild at Heart?
I have read Wild at Heart. I read Wild at Heart before you were even a Christian, Matthew. But what does that have to do? What does that have to do with anything? How is society stopping men from being men? Because I'm a man, and I can tell you, I don't feel anybody stopping me from being a man. Nobody's making me a coward. What are you talking about? I'm seriously asking you the question.
I'm thinking.
KZ said it. Name 3 things that a man cannot do anymore.
Be proud to be a man.
What do you mean? I'm proud to be a man. There's nothing wrong with being proud to be a man.
But you can't go around and be proud to be a man without, like, someone trying to say that you're a misogynist or this label or that label or whatever.
Nope. Nobody has ever to date. I don't know. Nobody's ever labeled me in the channel a misogynist. Lilo has called me a bunch of names. She's never said that about me. Jen is a prototypical feminist. She's never said that about me. And I think probably that I exude a certain level of masculinity, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
So what the fuck are you talking about?
I probably don't know.
Who are these people that are stopping us from being men? It's a serious question. You know what here's what I'm getting. What I'm getting is, in New York City, if you are even semi-attractive, men will yell at you. They'll talk about your body parts. They'll do all this. If a woman is in corporate America and she gets any sort of promotion, there's immediately some sort of underlying sexual innuendo. A lot of the folks in power, I've seen this with my own 2 eyes, have been able to do whatever they want with women, and now there are social repercussions.
Sure, none of that's okay.
To doing all that evil shit to women. Well, bro, this has been going on. The Kavanaugh thing. Now, I'm not commenting on what happened there, because that shit happened before I was born. But it is pretty telling to me. I've even seen women say things like, well, which one of us haven't had to deal with that when we were 15 or 16? Get over it. It's the normalization of the way that men engage with women that needs to be called into check. And if we are defining masculinity by our free reign to go and violate women, then fuck it. Good. It needs to die. That's not how I define masculinity.
That's not appropriate at all.
Oh, okay then. So what so I don't understand how feminism is emasculating men. You still haven't given me any examples of it. Like, give me an example of these. I'm genuine, because you're my brother, Matt. You know that.
Right.
So I'm. This is not like Vin is trying to roast them. This is I genuinely want to know what y'all are talking about. Okay, no worries. I think Fred Flintstone was trying to call me, and Fred Flint was the original guy who was saying that it's the women's fault for emasculating men. So maybe he can explain it to me.
Right, and I didn't think it out. I'm not able to articulate it. There's logic in there somewhere, I promise you.
Okay. Well, I mean, maybe after you'll have some time to collect, and maybe after that, you'll call back.
Sure.
All right. I love you, my brother.
Of course. I love you guys.
All right.
Bye.
Cool.
Love you too. Honey, can you sign me into that Vin and Sori merch? Because I'm trying to get some people are wanting their shirts signed.
Uh-huh.
How do I get into that? I thought...
What does that have to do with... Hey, Fred Flintstone, call me again, sir.
People are paying. They're like doing... Thank you, Holly. People are buying shirts right now, and so I need to be able to see... I need to confirm before I'm signing shirts that people are actually... they are getting these shirts, because I don't want to start signing these.
We should probably switch phones, because my phone has it already in there. It's the blue one.
Okay.
The V right there. There you go. You see how that one has 4? So that's the guy, that's the name and all that. See? I would just take their name for it. I would just take their word for it. Okay. Matt's my brother. He's my brother. I love him. I'm just genuinely asking the question. Where is babe, just
what?
I think we should just sign the shirts. I don't think we need to look.
I want to make sure that I don't miss anybody either, because the chat's flying through.
The chat.
No, I'm not getting it all.
Okay.
So I'd rather just look.
All right, you're right.
Can you answer that one?
I can't.
Well, how am I gonna do this, babe?
Then
you need to sign me into my.
How you're gonna do it? Okay.
Then you need to sign me in.
Listen, feminism is cancer. This is exactly what we're talking about.
Hey, how do I add that?
Who's this?
Hello?
Hello, who's this?
My name's Tim. You've known me as Malamat 2202.
Are you Fred Flintstone?
I am not Fred Flintstone, sorry, no.
Okay. All right, talk. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, I just wanted to mention real quick, just like the different types of feminist ideologies and the application of feminism, and I think it's kind of important.
Yeah.
Because, like, talking about all of feminism as a monolith is kind of problematic.
Yep, I agree with that.
Like, for example, on gender roles, which has come up, and I think Sori has some really strong ideas on like gender roles, and like for example, cultural feminism. It asserts that femininity as a role that's degraded, and how you get to equality is to like almost like exalt femininity up to the same level as masculinity, and that's how you get feminism. Well, say libertarian feminism, it says let's do away with the gender roles and like in this like and have like this civil, almost like androgynous standing. So like those are two examples of feminist ideas which are very, very different, and I would say incompatible when you talk about their application in gender roles, for example.
That's good. That's a good addition to add. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Just wanted to add that. I love you guys' works, by the way.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for calling in, my guy.
All right, no problem. I'll get off the line so see if Fred can call in.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Fred Flintstone.
All right, no problem.
All right, love you, my brother.
See ya.
All right, Fred Flintstone, are you ever going to call me, bruh? Who's this? Hold on. I really want to talk to Fred Flintstone.
And I really want to get people's shirts signed if they want them signed.
And then just... Hello.
Whoa, I actually got a hold of you guys.
Who's this?
This is Dustin.
Okay, Dustin, are you Fred Flintstone in the chat?
No, I'm not Fred Flintstone, unfortunately. I've been listening to that, and I'm sorry to say that I'm not him.
All right, what's up, buddy?
Nothing. I'm so glad to get a hold of you guys. I'm a huge fan. I love what you guys do.
I'm a fan of you.
Excellent. Great to talk with you. My thing, okay, totally off topic. We're getting off feminism. We're just shooting that. We're just getting rid of it. Blah.
Okay.
But all right. My question is more towards the Christianity aspect. All right. So you guys love Ghost, right?
Sori's more of a Ghost fan. I'm kind of ambivalent to Ghost.
I'm becoming less of a Ghost fan because everything's the same.
But go ahead.
No, I'd love to ask, why are you becoming less of a Ghost fan, first of all?
Because every song is so similar that I'm getting bored.
They're becoming pretty poppy, like kind of radio-like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like at first I liked that, but then I'm like, but I feel like there's not a whole lot of variation in sound and doesn't seem to be like really deep lyrics. So I just feel like I'm getting bored.
Yeah, it's almost like they're not like trying as hard at all.
Right. So how does that relate to Christianity to you?
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. That was just like the basis of it. My question is, so I was raised religious, in a family. I was baptized as I think a Lutheran. I'm not sure. My mom died. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm just wondering how. Wait, was that a buzzer? What was that?
Yeah, that's the notifications on my phone going off. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like, you're done.
Yeah, you're out. Yeah, thanks for calling in.
Fuck, I didn't realize that was on a game show. No, I'm just generally wondering, like, I grew up, like, as a teenager and as an adult, I never really got into Christianity. I never got into Satanism, for that matter. I guess what I'm getting at is Ghost is definitely promoting Satanism. I love their music, but their lyrics are clearly promoting Satanism, which, whatever. But I don't know. How do you guys feel about, like, just, do you feel like Satanism might be taking over America in a way, like through Hollywood and through music?
Well, I mean, there's the technical definition of Satanism, Anton LaVey and all that.
Yeah. Anton LaVey, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I will say Anton LaVey's definition of Satanism is not, I would call it bullshit, because he basically says you are your own God, you do what you want to do, but if you look at the true Satanism, that's pretty fucking evil shit. Pardon my French.
No. So there's a technical definition of Satanism, and I have no concern that that's taking over America. But if you look at the biblical character of Satan, who is a person who doesn't want to live under God's authority, then everybody is a Satanist in that sense, right? And so, people like to focus on and this is one of the reasons people ask me all the time, like, do you ever feel weird about listening to these satanic bands? And to me, it's like, we've already crossed that bridge as a nation. We've already said, fuck God, we don't need God, blah, 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 blah. We're advanced now. We don't need anything. So I already believe that America is a pretty satanic culture already. So the Halloween stuff doesn't really affect me much. If that makes any sense.
All right, I didn't really ask about Halloween stuff. I love Halloween.
No, when I say Halloween, what I mean is like the spooky ghosts, the behemoth, cradle of filth, like, ooh, the devil. You know what I mean? Like the more direct, devilish type of Satanist stuff.
So you feel like that's more like just like toying rather than trying to, eradicate everybody into being Satanists?
Well, my point is that everybody pretty much already is Satanist, in the sense that, if you're a secularist or you claim that you're an atheist or whatever, you're saying that you don't need to live under God's authority, you don't need to worship God, that you basically are your own God because you make your own rules. So, sometimes I'll get my atheist friends on here and I say, how do you define morality? And they say, we do, or I do. That's all ways of saying I don't need God to establish my morality. I don't need God to guide my life. That's a form of that's Satan's. That's how Satan is presented in the Bible. So you don't need to have corpse paint and all the other stuff to be a Satanist from a biblical perspective. There's only two teams.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt you.
Well, my point is there's only two teams, biblically speaking, right? Jesus said you're with me or you're against me. So if you're not with Jesus, then you're on Team Satan from Jesus's perspective. So
like there's like no different ground, like that's like if and or buts according to Christianity.
Well, according to Jesus, if you're following him, which I do, he made it he said, if you're not with me, you're against me. I mean, that's what he said.
What? All right, one more question. Like, what if I don't know? What if you're just up in the air? You don't believe in either or.
Well, I think
you're still a good person.
Yeah. Well, I think what Jesus is talking about is your the direction of your heart. So, for example, if a person were to say, "I'm not totally convinced about this stuff," but if I did know what Jesus taught and the way of life that he told us to live by, then I would be good with it. That's something completely different than a person saying, "Yeah, I know about that stuff. I don't need it," right? So
okay, I can see that.
Yeah. So the majority of America, I mean, has been saturated historically with Jesus as a figure and a way of life and an archetype for how you should live, right? The majority of us have heard that, right?
Correct.
And the majority of us have said, nah, we're going to do our own thing.
There's definitely been a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just kind of curious, like, do you feel that, like, I mean, Ghost, they're a great band. They make great music, and they sing about what they will. I'm just using them as an example. You could also use Slipknot as an example.
Sure.
Just there's so much Satanism being poured into Western society, and here I am as, I'm neither Christian nor Satanist. I don't know what to believe in at this point.
Yeah.
But how do you personally feel like, do you really feel like this music is impacting people? If there is a divine power, which I know you believe and I'm not sure about, but if there is divine power, are we really going against it?
If there is a good divine power?
Yeah, like if there's a God, Jesus Christ, like, as you believe, which I respect, just I'm not sure I believe yet.
Sure.
But,
sure.
Just music like Slipknot and Ghost being played on the radio now, they're definitely promoting, Satan. By all means, they definitely are. You can't deny that.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that Slipknot is promoting outright Satanism.
Okay, I can catch you on that. They might not be promoting it directly, but I don't know. If you look at the Iowa album, there's Satanism written all around it. There's the goat, there's the pentagram. Yeah, there's definitely satanic imagery for sure. But again, to me, Slipknot is what happens. That album and the whole subculture that was created around that whole thing, all those people, they're refugees of the Satanism that has infected our culture. And what I mean by that is there was one song that we reviewed where he says, nothing left to do but hold on to nothing, where he's articulating this very nihilistic view of the world, right? Right. And I think that that's a consequence of what happens when you turn your back on God, is you have nihilism. Now, a lot of people disagree with that, and that's okay, and we can have the conversation. But to me, Slipknot is what happens. It's a look into the soul of a person who's inherited this sort of nihilistic, godless worldview. Whereas Ghost is more directly, hey, I'm Satan, blah, blah, blah. So to me, there's just degrees of consciousness of your alignment with the devil, right? Like So Ghost is more conscious of their alignment with Satan probably than a regular run of the mill band would be.
Where you got a guy like Behemoth, you got a band like Behemoth where they're very, very conscious of what the archetypical figure of Lucifer means and how to use that in regular life and all that, right? Like they're very, very conscious of that, right? So it's just and that's why we talk about self-consciousness a lot. It's just a matter of how conscious you are of it.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. So it, I guess what you're saying is, depends on how close you are to God, is right?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on, what's your intention? If your intention is, look, I'm an open book and I'm seeking the truth and I'm going to go wherever the truth leads me, that's a different posture of heart than I want nothing to do with God. I'm going to deny that God exists. I'm going to say silly things like, Auschwitz and KFC are the exact same atrocity, which people have said here. People have said all types of crazy stuff here, and people think that they're crazy. It's not crazy. It's just the logical ramifications of a certain view of the world. I think a person truly, honestly seeking, I say this all the time. If you want God, you'll have him. If you want the truth, you'll have it. If you don't, you won't.
That is a very good saying, good sir. I do have one last question for you, though. If you don't mind.
I do not mind.
All right. Myself as a non-Christian, I don't want to say atheist by any means, because I definitely believe in a higher power. I know there's a good higher power out there, and I do believe in an evil. I just don't believe in everything in the Bible, per se.
Sure.
So, myself saying that, if I were to say I do believe in a heaven or hell, and my beliefs are I don't agree with everything in Christianity, and Satanism is whatever, do I still have a chance of heaven?
Well,
just because I don't worship God every day, and I'm a good person and do good things.
Well, are you a good person? Do you think you're a good person?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I do great things for my friends. I do great things for people I don't know. I love doing nice things. I think I'm a good person for sure.
Okay. Who defines what a good person is in your mind?
As long as you feel good about what you're doing in life, that is what I would define as a good person.
Do you think that that's a dangerous way to gauge whether or not something is good or bad?
No, I don't feel like that's a way to, develop a gauge between good or bad. Because, there could be a crazy person out there being like, oh, yeah, murder's good.
Right. There's lots of people that believe murder is good. So, so how do you know that you're not one of those self-deceived people that's really not a good person but thinks they're good? How do you determine that?
I determine that on the aspect that I am just a hardworking individual and not a manipulative person, and I do good for my friends and family. So I would define myself as a good person.
You ever lied to your friends and family?
Of course, but only to keep it on even keel.
So you lied to them, but you have justifications for why you lied to them?
Yes. I would love to hear where you're going on this.
You ever hurt somebody that you loved?
Yes.
Okay. So you've lied to people you've loved, you've hurt people that you've loved. Have you ever taken something that doesn't belong to you?
Of course, yeah.
Have you ever objectified a woman?
I'm not sure the definition on that.
You ever watch pornography?
Yes.
Okay. So these are women who are being completely objectified, right?
But if they're doing it on their own will...
How do you know they're doing it on their own will? How do you know there's not some pimp there that's forcing them to do that?
I mean, I could definitely see certain people being objectified, but I could also see like some people being like, yeah, I want to make a profession on this. Do you know that the woman that did, I think the name of the movie was Deep Throat, her
she basically came out later and said that she did that at gunpoint because her abusive boyfriend forced her into that movie.
Oh, wow.
Do you know that a lot of these girls that are in pornography, they've been abused and molested before they went into that industry?
Same thing with actresses in Hollywood.
No, the numbers are much higher in pornography.
Oh, I'm definitely, yeah, they got to be higher in
So you watched that with the foreknowledge that a lot of these girls have been molested. So you knew that.
I never had the knowledge of that, though.
So you have the knowledge now. So you'll never watch pornography ever again.
Oh no, I'll definitely still watch it. I'm single.
Okay, so you're gonna watch that knowing full well that you've probably already indulged yourself on a girl who's psychologically damaged because she's been molested in the past.
I feel like we're getting off topic.
No, we're not, because the topic is how good of a person you are.
Okay. All right, yeah, you're right.
So you're willing to, because you have urges, you're willing to take advantage of a young lady who has been psychologically traumatized and destroyed and is part of that industry, and you're okay with that, but you're still a good person.
That's a very valid point, sir.
Now let me tell you something, my brother.
Yes.
I've done terrible, terrible things in my life. Now my issue is not sexuality, it's violence. Okay? So I put myself in situations where I was able to exercise I was able to scratch my itch for violence. Okay?
Okay.
So if I laid out to you the things that I've done, you'd say, well, I mean, hey, they were doing whatever and you defended yourself. But I knowingly put myself in those situations so that I could scratch my itch for violence. And here's my point. None of us are good people, bro.
Okay.
None of us are good people. So when you say, oh, I'm a good person, am I going to end up in hell just because I don't worship God? No, you're
that's the point you were getting to.
You're not a good person, and neither am I.
All right, I see what you're doing there.
Yeah. You listen. Here's the thing about everybody that you know. Everybody that you know is an incredibly divine, amazing, unique gift to the planet Earth, and the Earth would never be the same without them. But everybody that you know is also capable of incredible darkness.
Yes.
Incredible and unspeakable evil, and we have both of those within us simultaneously.
Yes.
So somebody goes up to Jesus and says, "Good teacher," and Jesus says, "Why did you call me good? Nobody's good but God." And there's 2 points that Jesus is making. One is that he's telling the guy, do you really know who you're talking to? Because you're talking to God. That's one. But the second thing Jesus was saying was that we willy-nilly throw around this term good, and we have no fucking clue what we're talking about most of the time. Because I'm sure right now you're probably doubting your own goodness based on the conversation we had 5 minutes ago.
Slightly. I'm just doubting everything. Yes.
Yeah.
You know.
Whereas 10 minutes ago, you were pretty sure that you were a good person.
I mean, yes. I mean, until you said what you said, like, I was sure I was a good person, but according to the Bible, which, you basically said, like, pornography is bad. So.
Yeah, yes, taking advantage of women who've been destroyed all their lives and are probably being pimped out by an abusive boyfriend is bad.
You're right, and somebody, myself or millions of others, just, I don't like this term, but getting off on watching these women.
Yeah. Do you have a sister?
Do I have a sister?
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you want your sister in one of those films?
No, but
would you?
Sad as I am to say this, like, if my sister made a bunch of money and she was in porn, I'd be like, hey, you're making money, you're doing good for yourself, keep going.
Well, the vast majority of women in pornography are not making tons of money.
No, you're right. They have to be in certain types of pornography.
Go watch the documentary Pretty Girls Wanted. They don't make a bunch of money. They get used. Yeah. Okay. So that's not what's happening.
But they do better off than the average.
No, they don't.
Full-time job.
No, they don't. That's not what the numbers are saying.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm just saying. I guarantee any famous female porn star is making way more money than I am now.
My friend, those are the minority of pornographic performers. The vast majority of pornographic performers are not making that type of money. And secondly, I'm going to ask you the question again. Would you like to walk into your office at work with the knowledge that everybody is doing that with your sister when they go home at night on their computer? Would you want to live in that world?
No.
Okay, but you're one of those guys in the office for somebody's daughter or sister. Now look, I don't care about the daughter or sister angle. I'm just saying that because most of us can't even see the value of a person outside of their relationship to other people. But you're doing that stuff. Now there's people in the chat that want to tell you that you're a good person and that you're okay. You know why they're telling you that?
I haven't even looked at the chat. I've just been...
Let me tell you why they're telling you that. Because they're doing the same shit. And if they admit that you're a bad person, they have to admit that they're a bad person. So here's the doctrine of Christianity. And this is one of the things that I say about I say this all the time. If your belief system doesn't work in the real world and doesn't explain the real world, then forget it, right? I don't deny that you do good things. I think you probably do amazing things. I think you could probably sit down and tell us all of the beautiful things that you've done. Because like I said, there's a divine element to you that's amazing, and the world wouldn't be the same without you, right? And I mean that. But you also know that in your heart there's this inexplicable darkness. There's bad things about you, right?
Definitely, 100%.
Okay. So then what the scripture says, the reason for that is the good side of you were created in the image and likeness of God. But so when you do these good things for people, you're reflecting your creator. The other side, Christianity also states, but you were born with a sinful nature, and that explains the darkness within you. And so the idea is Jesus comes down as God, lives a perfect life, shows us how to be actually human. Like Jesus could look a beautiful woman a 10 in the face and not think one objectified thought about her only for her good. Jesus showed us to be human because we've lost the ability to be completely human. Like that dark side of us dehumanizes us. The lying, the stealing, the objectification. When you objectify a woman, you dehumanize her, but you dehumanize yourself as well. So then, and just to note, just because you're single doesn't mean you're going to stop using pornography.
When you're married.
You're married. I have talked to I've talked to tons of dudes that doesn't stop just because you get married.
Mm-hmm.
No. I mean, even if you're in a relationship, that's just I figure masturbation is just human nature. It's just gonna happen.
We're in
a or a woman.
Brother, we are in a unique situation in history in that has always been the case with human beings, but now we're in a situation where we have a digital outlet for it that is completely destructive in a way that most men throughout the centuries have never had to deal with before, right?
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
So Jesus comes and lives as a fully human, perfect person. He shows us how to live, and then what happens is he gets killed by religious people because nasty people loved him. This is the funny thing. Jesus came out saying, all you guys suck, but I'm going to save you from it. And the nasty people was like, okay, this is good because I know that I suck. The religious people were saying, fuck you, man, I'm a good person. And it's the religious people that ended up wanting to kill him. Because when you tell a person who is convinced that they're good, that they're not good, they will murder you. I worked in the downtown area with Sori. And there were drug addicts, they were prostitutes, they were everybody that our state turned their back on and mocked, okay? And so when we came down there with the message that God loved them and that they were valuable, they jumped on it immediately. They didn't need to know that they were not good people. They already knew it. And so it was very, very simple to get them to change. But it's almost impossible to get suburban people who work a 9 to 5 and are contributing to society to recognize the darkness that's inside of them. And so,
because they have no time to.
Right. So and honestly, all of us are proud. We don't want to admit that we're not as good as we think we are. We don't want to admit that. And because it's a shot to the ego, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So the message is Jesus came, he lives the perfect life. He bears the punishment that we all deserve. Because all of us, see, I'm a collectivist. I'm not a radical individualist. And so I think we've all contributed. Like if there is a kid starving in Africa and I have extra capital, then I feel like there is a level to which I am responsible for that. You see what I'm saying?
Definitely, yeah.
So I've never talked to a person that says, oh yeah, I've lived up to my own moral ideal. Christian or not, I've never ran into a person that believes they've lived up to their own moral ideal.
No, never. No.
Okay, well, so the idea is Jesus came and bore the punishment for our sin. All the guilt, see, this is the thing. I'm not telling you that you're not a good person to guilt you. I'm telling you that to give you the outlet for all the secret shit that you don't want anybody to know about yourself. Because we all have it.
Right.
I'm not.
Yeah, that's why I've tried so long to talk to you guys. I love your opinion.
Yeah. So all the because when we have secret shit, we're ashamed of it, and then we're like, oh, we deserve some sort of punishment, blah blah blah. And the message is, look, Jesus took all of that. He took all of that. It all went down there with him, and then he died, and then he rose from the dead 3 days later. And so now you have the hope of being a completely different person. I don't think that you need to believe there is a talking snake in the garden. I do and I don't. Maybe I'll talk about that another day. I don't think that you need to believe that a giant fish swallowed a guy to be right with God. What you need to believe, though, is the message of Jesus. Okay? All the other shit, you and God, that's between you and him. You guys figure it out later, right? But from a biblical...
I'm sorry, what? Like, I understand that Jesus is the Son of God.
Sure.
But really, what is the difference of what I would be worshiping, if you don't mind me asking?
If you became a Christian, per se?
Right, like it almost sounded like, I could be wrong, but it almost sounded contradictory, like you said, like worship Jesus / worship God, like they almost sound like two different things.
Yeah. Well, the Bible basically says that God is one being, right? One what, right. And within that one what, you have three who's: Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, right? So
okay.
What it means to worship God is to simply follow him. Ultimately, that's all it means, right? Because, for example, who's your favorite band?
Probably Tool.
Tool. Okay. Have you ever made a Tool song suggestion to us?
No, I actually just got introduced to you guys recently, and also love you guys. Just so you know.
Okay, love you too, man. Okay, but Tool, have you ever told your friends what an awesome band Tool was?
Oh, of course.
Did Tool make you?
If it wasn't for Tool, I wouldn't be into music right now.
Okay. Did Maynard James Keenan make you do that?
In a way.
Right. He compelled you because of his genius, right?
Yes.
But he didn't do it at gunpoint.
Not at all.
No. Okay. That's what it means to worship God. It basically means that you're so blown away by who he is and what he does that you're just compelled to express it to your friends or whoever.
Ah, like your analogy there, sir.
That's all it means. So people misunderstand. Like, Maynard gives you comfort. He gives you joy, right? He gives you an outlet.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. And so if you read the Bible, that's how people describe their walk with Jesus. He gives me comfort. He gives me joy. He gives me an outlet. He gives me meaning. He gives me purpose. And because of that, I can't help but talk about it. I don't do anything by gunpoint, but I am compelled in the way that you said. I was just talking about this with Sori, where Paul says it's the love of Christ that compels us because we are convinced that one died for all and therefore all died. In the sense that when Jesus died, I died with him, meaning my life isn't about me anymore. It's about other people. Because if I'm following a person that was so giving that they literally gave their entire life for me, and I'm following that guy, that means my life now becomes about other people and not myself. So I'm compelled by the love of Christ, right? And so when I tell people at the end of these things like I love you, blah blah blah, it's not a sign off. I love the people I'm talking to. but it's you can't help but do it if you really get to know this person. So do I have doubts about some stuff in the Bible? Sure. Do I have stuff in the Bible I don't like? Of course. I'm famous for saying I don't like the concept of hell. And
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm still working that out with God. But I don't need to have all that stuff figured out. I just need the Jesus thing figured out. That's all. So.
You know, I gotta say, I've been looking around for an answer for, I don't know, right around 20 years or so, and you just put everything in such perspective that I can't argue, and it's probably the best thing I've ever heard.
All right. Well, I appreciate you, my brother.
Yeah, I know you guys got stuff to do. I'm sorry for keeping you for so long, but I really appreciate you guys talking to me, and I really appreciate what you guys do.
No, I appreciate you. Do me a favor. Email me, vinsori@gmail.com. We'll continue the discussion.
Oh, definitely.
Also, just throw out a Tool song request out there just for giggles.
Oh, you want a Tool song? All right, I got you.
Well, what is it?
Oh, I didn't know you were waiting right now. Well, what Tool songs have you guys already done?
We did the entire Lateralis record. We're about to do the entire Anima record. For Anima, we're gonna do a live song listen, meaning we're just gonna do a live stream like this, and we're just gonna play the record from start to finish without interruption. And then after that, we're gonna do a song by song analysis, Vin and Sori style.
Okay, so you guys have already done Lateralis, the song itself.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. Going back. Ooh, I mean, Prison Sex. I don't know if you guys done one on that.
Is that on the Anima record?
Shit, I can't remember.
That one's been asked for a bunch.
Prison Sex?
Yeah, actually.
Oh man, I mean, just the song title kind of
Provocative.
gives it perspective, but
is Prison Sex? Prison Sex is on Undertow.
Yeah, it's on Undertow, not Anemia. You're right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, check us out in the next 7 days. We'll do it.
Oh hell yeah, man! And I love you guys to death, and you know I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm not sure what I believe in, but God bless both of you.
Don't apologize. You're honest. That's
I am honest.
That's what it is. Be honest. That's all.
Yes.
All right, my brother.
And I love what both of you do, and I hope you keep both doing it. Just hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Thanks.
No doubt, buddy. Love you, my guy.
Hey, take care, guys.
Bye.
Have a good one. A good caller. A good
I
egg.
know, yeah.
Is this real?
It's real. I was like, oh, was that a mistake? You want me to send that back? He said no. He said that you're awesome. I think he likes your talks.
RW, thank you very much.
I know. I'm like, no, you made a mistake. He kept, maybe the zero got stuck and he was like, bang, bang, bang.
Thank you. We really appreciate it. I don't know if you know this, Mr. RW. Is that RW? Is that his name?
Uh-huh.
But our car situation is terrible.
Oh, yeah. Did you know about that?
This is going to be mega, mega helpful for us. So
we're like literally thousands of dollars. They keep finding more stuff.
Yeah. So,
and we don't even have like a really bad vehicle. Like we have a decent vehicle. So
yeah. So, thank you. I'm just very, very blown away.
I know.
By that.
I was very, very shocked.
Yeah. I'm just trying to keep my toxic masculinity in place and not get all emotional and shit. God almighty, I love these people. 41. Caller.
Hey, I'm glad I got through.
What's up, brother? Who's this?
Hope it's not too choppy. This is Zanya.
Okay, Zanya?
Yeah. I hope it's not too choppy. I've got poor signal right now.
No, I'm hearing you perfectly, my guy. What's up? Talk to me.
Well, I figured I'd bring this up. So I'm personally an atheist, and I don't have a big investment in this, but one of the things I heard from the previous caller, I felt it was I don't know why people don't bring this up, but I think it should be mentioned, and I think it's an important factor of life in general. When someone mentions to me that they're worried about whether or not they're going to make it into heaven or go to hell, I feel like that's the wrong thing to worry about. Even outside of just religion, the most important element of your life is the road you take. And if you're focused on whether or not you're going to, if you're worried about whether or not you're going to succeed in like going to heaven or whether or not you're going to be cast into hell or something like that, it's sort of a selfish approach to whatever it is that you're doing. And I'm not sure why people don't really mention that much when it's brought up, is that, when somebody says, oh, I think I'm a good person, but I'm worried about whether or not I'm going to go to hell. And I feel that's one of my major criticisms of religions in general, is so many of them have this big threat that says, if you don't follow the rules, you're going to hell. And so people focus more on the message of the threat than of the selfless devotion to doing the right thing.
Well, if that was the message of Christianity, I'd agree with you. But let me throw something out to you though, because a lot of people's conceptions of heaven and hell wouldn't comport to what you're saying. Let me give you an example. If I look at hell as the punishment for not following the rules and heaven as the reward for following the rules, then what your criticism is valid, right?
Yes.
What if I said hell is being away from God and heaven is union with God? So hell is being away from God for those who don't want him, and heaven is union with God for those who do want him. Wouldn't the question then of how do I get to heaven, would it stop being a selfish pursuit?
If that were the case, yes, but I think so many people are concerned about whether or not they're going to hell. And they're worried about that eternal damnation, eternal suffering aspect of it. I think that is a strong motivator for people to worry about whether or not they're doing the right thing and on the right path. And I don't think that is I think that creates a selfish approach to following any religion. Many religions are guilty of this, in my opinion.
I agree with that, my brother. So let's dispense with that idea, and let's stay with the biblical understanding that heaven is union with God for those who want him, and hell is separation from God for those who don't want him.
You get this right.
Okay, so what about, obviously that's what the later Gospels talk about, but it's a bit more threatening in earlier books of the Bible.
Like which ones?
What's the one that's got all the ugly early rules? Is it Leviticus?
Well, Leviticus doesn't talk about hell at all, my brother.
No.
There's very little.
Which one it is, but I know in the original 5 books of the Bible, there is talk about the where Lucifer resides in the underworld, right? And that you will be drawn toward it.
No.
And there's a lot of threatening about, there's a lot of threatening about God being very wrathful and vengeful in those circumstances.
Well, hold on, Robert.
And I think a lot of people sort of obsess over that.
Okay, the first 5 books of the Bible are what known as the Torah, and the Torah is part of the Old Testament canon, and it's many New Testament scholars have lamented this. There's not a lot of talk about the afterlife in the Old Testament. There's no talk of Lucifer's not even mentioned in the Torah. So,
and taking a look here, it's been a long time since I read it.
Yeah. Now, hold on for a second about threatening. There are times when threatening carries with it utility that you'd probably agree with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you saying that threatening?
You mean where it can be utilized to effectiveness?
Well, where you would probably agree with it. Let me give you an example. Sori and I, about a year ago, were working with heroin addicts, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd say, Sean, do you have a daughter? Yes, I have 2 daughters. I said, okay, well, it would be great if you could be with them next year, right? He'd say, yeah. I'd say, listen, we don't find a way to kick this thing, you're going to end up like your friend who died in an alley in front of his kids. You want to end up like that? Now, I was threatening him, right?
You were showing him reality.
Yeah, but I was threatening him. I was saying, you're going to die in front of your daughter. That's a threat, right?
It's a little different. It's an inevitable outcome, whereas it's not necessarily dictated that he's going to go to some particular afterlife.
Well, I didn't say a word about his afterlife. My point is, you and I both agree that in certain instances, there is great utility in threatening someone. Right?
I don't necessarily agree, because it doesn't sound like a threat. It sounds more like, hey, this is the road you're going. You're going to end up in this point. Here's some perspective for you.
Okay.
Whereas a threat is, if you don't do things in a certain way, here is a punishment outcome.
Okay, if I say,
it's a little bit different.
So if I say,
Ultimatums.
Sean, if you don't stop doing heroin, you're going to die. And if he comes back and says, oh, you're threatening me, how would I respond to that?
Well, I wouldn't see that as being much of a threat. I'd see that as painting a perspective of, hey, this is your path.
Okay, so
right?
That's a semantical distinction, because then I would say, well, God's doing the same thing. He's saying, if you continue in this is your path. What's the difference?
So I had a pastor tell me that a long time ago when I was in a youth group, and he said that it's your choice whether or not you go to hell. God's hand is out there for you. You need to reach out and grab it. But if you don't, you end up in hell. And sure, that's one way to paint it, but the Bible, underlying the Bible's, positive messages, it's mixed messages, some of them are not so positive, but underlying many of those positive messages is the threat of damnation, eternal damnation. And I think it does create a selfish following of where people are worried about whether or not they're going to go to hell instead of being more concerned about what it is that they're doing with their lives.
Well,
and I think a Bible, for instance, should be rewritten entirely and should be modernized to say, look, here are tenets to living life positively, and here are many reasons why society and people benefit from living in this way and being positive and helping each other out and being communal, and dispense away with the threats. I think the threats do create a selfish worship.
Well, were you listening to the conversation I had with the previous caller?
Yeah, I was.
That
was what made me think of it.
How much threatening did I do to that caller?
None at all. But his initial concern when he first mentioned it was, even though he wasn't sure where he was on his path, his concern was whether or not he would end up making it into heaven or hell.
Right.
And that was, it's kind of, it is, that's sort of an obsession for a lot of people, is not whether or not I'm doing the right thing, it's whether or not I'm going to burn eternally.
Right, and that's why I shifted the focus from, reward and punishment versus do you want God or not? Because
I think you did the right thing.
But what I'm explaining to you, hold on, brother. What I'm explaining to you is this is not a uniquely Vinian approach to the gospel. This is Jesus's approach to the gospel. I think what Jesus is doing when he's describing, because honestly, first of all, what's your opinion on Jesus? Do you think he was a good teacher or no?
From what I've read, I think he was a good teacher with his ups and downs, very much humanized.
Okay. You do realize that Jesus talked more about hell than any other character in the Bible?
Yes.
So when you're talking about the Torah, for example, the first 5 books, there's nothing about hell in the Torah. All the imagery that we get about hell, most of it comes from Jesus. Right?
That's probably, I just mixed that up in my, over the last 35 plus years since I really read the Bible.
It's all good. Here's the point I'm trying to make. I think Jesus is talking. I have characterized hell as something of a cross between The Walking Dead and The Purge. And I don't think that we really, even folks, you're an atheist, but it seems that you have a very, very high caliber for morality and community.
Mm-hmm.
Like you rank those as very high values. And what I'm saying is, if the Christian worldview is right, and you only have morality and community because you're in the image of God, and if you were to end up in some society where that's completely taken away from you, and the ability to reason is taken away from you, and you exist in a society of people who are irrationally and irredeemably violent, that would be hell. So when people kind of walk around with this cavalier attitude, oh, we don't need God, blah, blah, blah. So if Jesus is using these striking, and these are obviously metaphorical, because on the one hand he talks about fire, and then the other hand he talks about eternal darkness. So obviously he's using metaphors. But I think what Jesus is doing is he's saying, you guys have no fucking clue what you're asking for when you're asking for a society without God. Because in from a Christian worldview, even if you say you don't want a society with God, you still have him. Because you still have people in the image of God who, even though they have dark sides to them, they still have a divine spark within them, and because of that, you can have a functioning society without people killing and destroying each other. But let's just what's your name again? I'm sorry, 41. Is that your name?
Zonia, Z-O-N-I-A.
Okay, Zonia, theorize with me for a second. What if you lived in a society of people who completely had no moral compass or no rationality?
What about it? It would be pretty awful.
It'd be hell, right?
Yeah, I guess that would be a way of defining it.
Okay. Now, if let's say that there was such a place, and let's say that I had a group of people who bought first class tickets to fly over to that place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I had 1 hour. Let's say I had 33 minutes with them, right? Would you say that I'm flawed? So on the one hand, I would say, going to, let's call the place, I don't know, Carpuccio. Let's call the place Carpuccio. So on the one hand, I'd say, going to Carpuccio how about we go to Hawaii? Or how about we go to, New Zealand? So on the one hand, I'd start, and they'd say, nah, and they're packing their bags, right? They're going to Carpuccio. Would it be wrong of me to say, listen, if you go there, it's going to suck. People are going to kill you. They're going to be terrible. They're going to tear you apart. They're going to torture you. It's terrible. Do not go there. Would it be wrong for me to say that?
No.
It would be loving for me to say that. Wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm right in my theory that hell is the purge, it's where people can exercise the most evil, nasty aspects of their nature, the darkest parts of their nature forever, would it not follow that if Jesus believed such a place existed, that he would speak in such categories?
Yes, I believe that would be the case. I don't think it really comes out that way in modern expression of religion.
I agree with you on that. I agree with you about that, and I think that that's a serious problem. I think when you read the, it's like I said earlier to the previous caller, where Paul says, it is the love of Christ that compels us, because we're convinced that one died for all, therefore all died. Love is all the emphasis on the New Testament. It's not hell and God's going to crush you in hell and blah, blah, blah. It's, hey, there's a new world coming and we want you to be a part of it, because we believe that the teachings of Jesus, if followed, if we follow the Sermon on the Mount, that we're going to bring about a new world in which peace and love and community, the things that you mentioned, are going to happen exponentially across the world. And we also believe that if we don't follow the way of Jesus, that we're going to bring hell to earth. And so that's kind of where I'm at. I don't look at heaven as my reward. Heaven is just me being able to be completely unified with the God that I've been walking with my whole life. It's not some reward that I get for being a good person.
So, if there's such a broad interpretation of it in a more threatening manner of the, don't do the right thing, burn in hell forever, where is the problem? Is it just there are so many people misinterpreting it? Is it that it's too loose too subject to interpretation? Or that there are many people out there purporting to be religious leaders who never really truly read the Bible?
I was having this conversation with my youngest yesterday, and we were talking about Jesus's parable, because there's one parable, you probably remember it, where the guy's got 100 sheep and then one of them go astray. So he leaves the 99. He leaves the 99 behind to go find the one. And my son was saying, "Okay, explain that parable to me." And I said, "Well, Jesus was in a religious context. And so their understanding was, if you strayed away from the path, or if you went off and lived a life of sin, that God was done with you. And what Jesus was trying to indicate was, no, God's not done with you. He will go after you. He's going to find you. If you belong to him, he's going to find you." And then my son said, "Well, does that mean that he doesn't give a damn about the 99? And I said, "No, the 99 are already experiencing God as rest, as refuge, because you're in the sheep pen. That means you're safe. So they're experiencing God as safety, as rest, and as a full stomach. But if you stray from God, you will experience God as a pursuer, somebody who's coming after you to rescue you. So both of them are in God's presence. They're just experiencing it differently." The next thing my son said to me was, "Well, isn't that going to encourage people to sin?" Because then they get to have this experience with God, this solitary, God came and rescued me, right? And I said to him, that question is the reason the religious leaders killed Jesus. And it's because religious people, and my son is one of them, and that's why we have these conversations, because I can see that he's got this perspective. Religious people believe that control and fear is the best way to change a person's behavior. Jesus believed that love and unconditional love was the best way to change a person's behavior. So Jesus would show up to tax collectors and prostitutes and all these people who are doing bad stuff, and he'd say, "I love you unconditionally. Now let's work on changing, because you know that you're fucked up here, here, and here." And he would say, Jesus' bet was, if I tell you that I love you unconditionally, you're gonna be so broken by how loyal I am to you and how I stay with you, that his love is essentially gonna melt you into becoming a better person. But when you tell religious people that, they go, because they don't really believe that love is that powerful. They think that that's hooey. They think you're being a hippie.
Yeah.
So religious people always default and go backwards to controls, and God's going to crush you, and God's going to do this, and that to you.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens is Jesus is like, I'm going to speak the language of the people I'm dealing with. So you'll notice that the only time Jesus uses language about hell and brimstone is when he's talking to religious people. When he's talking to sinful people, he never uses that language. Because that's not the categories they operate in. But for religious people who don't understand love, he says, "Okay, I'm going to meet you where you are. Okay, I'm going to use this type of language for you." But it doesn't end that way. So I think what you're talking about is, the point is, look, God loves us, and he wants us to love each other as brothers and sisters. Love God, love your neighbor. That's the biggest thing. None of us can do it. So Jesus died and took on all the hell that we've brought onto this planet. And now what he's saying is, okay, we don't need to punish anybody anymore for anything. So there's societal, there's elements in our society right now where people want to punish other people for shit that they've done. And I don't mean like personal justice. I mean, as a black man, white people did this to my ancestors, blah, 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 blah. God's like, okay, I've found a way for all of you guys to have an equal ground of forgiveness. Now let's get busy with loving each other and creating the world that we were supposed to have. That's Jesus's message. And so, but a lot of people don't believe that love is that strong. So you're always going to fall back to control. Always.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people get that message, and I don't think it reads well for people. I think a lot of people find the Bible to be tedious. I think those who do devote a lot of attention to reading it misinterpret it. I think it's a very subjective experience, and so there's so many different interpretations as a result. And that's why I feel like when I hear these statements from people where they are worried about whether or not they're going to hell, and they're, they've got all these, what would you call it, like big, epic concerns about the good versus evil, instead of just kind of paying attention to whether or not they're actually doing something that's benefiting the society around them. That it just gets lost in the mix and the wash, And so you have a lot of people like myself who are, were, like I, for instance, am an atheist, made that decision a long time ago after evaluating a lot of aspects of religion in general and exploring more than just my founding religion of Christianity, and realized after a while that the most important thing is whether or not we're succeeding as human beings and we're healthy. And I realized after a while that religion really kind of gets your mind looking at things in, I suppose people look at it as metaphor, as a way to train your mind to think a certain way, but it gets misinterpreted all the time, or just is written incorrectly from the very beginning. And if people spent less time worrying about these big epic things of heaven and hell, and paying more attention to, are we thriving as a community? Are people healthy? Are we systematically oppressing certain people and systematically lifting up other people? If people paid attention to those things more, we would be in a much better situation, and it wouldn't have to have a big label of Christianity or Judaism or Islam on it.
Well, Jesus didn't preach Christianity. Well, he didn't run around saying,
He was Christ.
Yeah, he didn't run around saying, I want you guys to be Christians.
325 years later. Yeah.
Well, they were called Christians in Antioch by the close of the first century. But I see what you're saying. And that's why, and it was kind of subtle. Whenever people talk about hellfire and brimstone, I always angle the conversation toward, do you want God or not? Because if you change the conversation from do you want union with God or not, then to me, it's a lot closer to what Jesus was talking about. I don't know. Look, at the end of the day, power, control, and fear, Jesus died on the cross. So he's obviously not presenting God as this sort of, I'm going to go and wield the lightning bolt and crush everybody who disagrees with me. You don't do that by dying on a Roman cross. That's not the message that everybody was getting when they were seeing him die. So I hear what you're saying. I just think a lot of what people call Christianity is the human impulse. It's the religious human impulse that if you read the words of Christ for yourself, you would see that it was that very impulse that got Jesus killed. And I think there's a lot of metaphorical import to the fact that religious people killed Jesus, because he is trying, somebody tweeted me something about about how this whole Kavanaugh thing or whatever, or just how evangelicals treat women in general. And they were saying this is why Christianity is declining in the West. And I responded to the tweet by saying, well, that version of Christianity needs to die. So there's versions of Christianity and religion that I have no problem with dying. To me, it's just a very, very simple thing of, okay, this is what Jesus said, and I believe him. I believe that his way of living is the way to bring about the world that we all want. And I believe that if we don't live according to the way that he tells us to live, that we are going to bring hell on earth. And I also believe that we have an account to settle with God that's already been taken care of. So the vertical relationship between me and God is solved by Jesus, and then the horizontal issues that we have with one another, I believe is solved by Jesus, and that's what I'm looking at. Not really looking, and I tell people all the time, people ask me about the afterlife, I say I'm not a very big afterlife person, I'm very this world oriented, because Jesus didn't come his first message wasn't about heaven. When Jesus mentioned the kingdom of God, that was a very this world political statement, and his followers understood it as such. So I'm with you. I think we're pretty much, I'm very this world oriented. I think you are too.
Yeah, very much so. I have very little concern about afterlife questions, and I feel like that more people need that, because I feel a lot more focused and at peace in my adult years when I became less concerned with those questions. And when I see other people asking about it, I feel like that really needs to be brought up.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I think it's a valid point. Valid point.
I don't want to waste too much of your time. It was just something I had thought of, and I feel like I just don't hear enough people say something about it, and so I wanted to just bring it up and see what you thought. But I've been watching you guys for, I don't know, maybe 4 months now, and I always love what you have to say, so I don't know how I discovered you, but some video suggested, I'm guessing. And since then, I've really enjoyed your commentary and how you guys provide, just how you dive into things and analyze them and talk about them. And you seem like really down-to-earth people.
I appreciate you, my guy. I do. Good chat.
Right.
Thank you for the challenge.
Right. Yeah, thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
So you got a couple people that
I don't know. That was a good call. I'm still waiting on Fred Flintstone.
We've had like tons of people donating money for the car, like big amounts, 20s, 100s, 50s. Like I don't even know if I missed people. Like it was coming in so fast. Like if I didn't thank you, like thank you very much. Thank you
guys. So well, it was ironic because as this guy was calling, I don't want to butcher his name, and he was talking about us taking care of each other. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing 20, 50.
I couldn't even keep up because there was so many people, and then like other people were like, you know, like I can't give big amounts, and they were like giving like $1.99 or something like that. Like
awesome,
I can't give a lot, but like take, awesome. you know, some people wanted to give, and they're like, I can't, but
I know it.
people are nice.
I know it. I know. It's unreal. Thank you guys so much. Seriously.
Yeah. I told them like when I go in to like pay for all these repairs, like it was crazy because we didn't even know that we needed any of these repairs. I dropped him off at to get a haircut, and then when I got in the driver's seat, I saw this red light on that looked like an oil can tipping over, and so I like looked in the book to see what was going on, and it was saying that there was like low pressure. So I was like, oh my word. I brought it in, and then it was just boom, boom, boom. Like tons and tons of things were wrong with it. I was like, oh my gosh. It was like spraying the oil up the back of the SUV.
They had the adjuster come in. Then the adjuster said, oh, that's wrong.
Holly, thank you.
Thank you so much, Holly Hawks. There's so many things wrong with it.
There's so many things. I mean, half of it is getting covered by, we got a warranty when we bought it. So like half of it, but it's still, even the half that we're paying is thousands of dollars. So it's like, and obviously didn't expect to have to pay that on such a new vehicle. We've only had it for a year.
Yeah.
It was just a bummer, but.
Yeah.
But like all this is like such a, oh my word, like an unbelievable help.
Yeah, it's insane. And the calls have been great. Mm-hmm. So I wish the big homie Fred Flintstone would call us. That would be great. Warranty is a waste of money. Yeah, we've just learned that lesson.
Well, I don't know because the warranty's covering $2,000. I mean, we still have to pay $2,000, but But if the warranty wasn't there, we'd really be in trouble. And the guy that like is in charge of the warranty, he's one of the ones that noticed. Okay, so Ranger wanted to call in, but is confused with Skype. So I told her or him.
Ranger's a dude. Are you serious?
Well, remember we have that friend.
Oh yeah.
So I've got it stuck into my head that it's a her.
Right. I'm pretty sure Fred Flintstone is long gone now.
And then somebody else is asking like how they can call in. I'm getting tired. I'm gonna lay down soon.
Yeah, we've been on for 2 minutes, I think.
2 minutes?
Yeah,
is that what it felt like
2 hours. Sorry. We've been out for 2 hours. So.
Yeah, I know, Mr. Mason. I don't really trust dealerships either, but.
Here's Lilo. I do not want Vin to follow anything, just not subjecting himself to belief in dubious stories from the past. Restricting his mind. Thank you so much, Lilo, for your concern for me. You're always in on every fireside. I just really appreciate you, Lilo.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Appreciate you.
Thank you,
Thank
Sean.
you, Sean Coates. I can't do an even dollar amount on my phone. Ollie, thank you.
I do want those pictures. He's got a baby that's going to be born in 2 months.
Yeah, where's the pictures, bruh? I know you got an ultrasound or something.
Yeah. Mandy, you can't drive. That does suck.
Oh, man. Later, Eve 1 or evil one, I think. Is what.
They're the evil one. I'll put a the in the front.
We're here to help each other
Holly,
out.
did you notice?
I know, Holly, you didn't comment.
Yeah,
What's up?
what the heck?
Wait, I don't think that was from Holly. That was...
That's right. That wasn't from Holly.
That was from Aaron Stoller. No, Holly.
No, it was Holly.
No, that wasn't Holly.
That was
this
Holly.
This was Holly.
I'm getting confused. This was Aaron?
Yeah, that was from Aaron.
Holly's like, the fuck? Well, it's a good thing we had this conversation because I thought that it was Holly.
Oh, boy. Dude, you are a dapper son of a gun. You could pay for the car doing modeling. Okay. Hey, here's Zonia.
Aw,
what I
thank
can give you now for... I'm pretty sure Zonia was the one we were just talking to.
Oh, okay.
Thank you very much. Type if you were the one that I was just talking to. That was a cool conversation. I'm pretty sure. Matthew Gaines is asking for Nightwish.
Yeah, I know. A couple people were like...
We'll get it fixed. Yeah, see? There it is, Holly. See, she had the thing.
Yeah. And the Last Temptation of Christ, yeah.
Yeah, I want to... Yeah, see?
Yep.
Thank you so much. Good conversation and a 20. How real is that? As good and as biblical as Vin's explanation of Christ's message was, that wasn't even close to the experience I had with God when I was a Christian. Love you guys, though.
Oh, yeah, integrity. Our car is worth more than $4,000.
That's fair.
It's an SUV that seats 7.
That's fair. I understand that a lot of you have had bad experiences or bad messaging in church, and I'm not saying that I'm like that we're the sum total of the message or whatever. I'm just telling you the message as I understand it and how it's affected my life and the people around me. That's all. I know the feeling of the car, y'all. My engine blew a little while back waiting on a loan for my 401k to buy a beater. Damn.
Blazing Heat was like, basically, how does it feel to like how does it feel living the rich YouTube life? We don't even make enough from YouTube to make minimum wage.
Stop.
What? It's true.
Yeah. Patreon helps.
Yeah.
But, yeah. we got to figure out a way to start getting some sponsorships.
I know. Jeez, Overshadow Sean has done already a bunch of these.
Philippians 4:6-7. Guaranteed somebody needs this tonight. To me, these are the most beautiful words in the book. All right. Sori's going to get Philippians 4. I don't know where it is.
For
I'd-
what?
4, 6 or 7. I'd love to chat with you guys on a fireside sometime as a Satanist. I appreciate your guys' perspective and open-mindedness to meddle. Much love and blessings to you. Okay, next time, High Charity, we'll bump you up.
Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus.
Awesome, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
The peace of God will guard you. What translation do you read? The ESV. Pantera, Suicide Note 1 and 2. I actually had Suicide Note on my short list, and then the Underground Metal Elitist did it. Thank you so much, Arturo Lara. Thank you. I was actually about to do Suicide Note 1 and 2, and then the Underground Metal Elitist did it, so that got pushed out a ways back.
I know Sori tried to explain it to me, but I'm a primitive ranger.
I'm about to eat some brisket, Vin. You jealous? Yes, I'm actually very jealous.
Brisket?
I love brisket. When I was in Houston,
Why didn't you ever tell me that?
That's the only thing that made me happy when I was on assignment in Houston.
You know, you could have asked me to cook you some.
My favorite version, Leslie, is ESV. I didn't know that you wanted to make brisket.
I love cooking things. I was like, give me different recipes. I've never cooked brisket before. I'm sure I could do well.
Whoa, Brent Stew.
You like my cooking?
Good for you. I do the same thing. Oh,
Tell
no. Sori is literally the best cook. No, seriously. You could go on one of those shows and you would murder it. You would murder one of those cooking shows. You would crush it. You're such a good cook. She's the best.
He's used to people burning his food.
She's the best. Period. She's the best.
I can do a decent job, though. I think I do a pretty good job.
Look at Lilo. Do you want to make more money on YouTube? Yes. Want to be taken seriously? Sure. Have more subscribers? Yes, Lilo. What should we do? Drop God from your miserable life. The rules of acquisition are loud. I think she means loud. Loud and clear about it. Well, we're not going to compromise who we are at the deepest level so that we can have YouTube subscribers, Lilo.
Right.
Thank you very much.
But thank you for your tips.
Yeah. Thank you for the tips. Yeah. Good Lord. Does she make jerk chicken? That's a good question.
No, I don't have a good recipe for it.
Oh.
I've tried it, but no.
I'm actually very excited about that.
He has no family members that have this recipe. That's weird to me. I don't know.
Leprous is coming for us. Leprous. People have been saying that we're going to like Leprous. So, yeah. Check out Daniel 12:2. It talks about hell, Vin and Sori. Have your opinion changed about Cannibal Corpse since you made comments on YouTube? No, my opinions of Cannibal Corpse haven't changed. At all. Slaughtered lamb, you don't cook brisket, you smoke it. Good point.
Then we have a problem because we don't have a way to smoke it.
What the hell is jerk chicken? It's like a dish from Jamaica.
Spicy
very,
chicken.
Very spicy. Very good.
Is it chicken?
Yeah,
I've heard it's chicken. Yeah.
It's chicken. It's very painful to eat at the beginning, but yeah. Your religious conviction coupled with your open-mindedness is what makes the channel unique. I think so, Ollie.
Lilo, somebody disagrees with you.
Lilo, a couple people disagree with you. They don't think we should compromise who we are and then prostitute ourselves for YouTube subscribers. Good Lord. What the hell?
Oxtail, Vin. Do you like oxtail?
Yes, I do like oxtail. When I was a kid, I didn't. Oxtail was some boiled dumpling. My mom used to make that for me.
Remember that meal that I made that had those peas in it and stuff and all that?
And then the other girl made it for me, and then you made it.
Yeah.
To compete.
I didn't make it to compete, you weirdo. She made it a long time ago, and you asked me to make it. Now, if I thought it was a competing thing, then I would have competed.
Kate said, "Where do you live, bruh? Because we got to go over where."
Fucking one.
Whoa, chill out. we gotta go where KZ is. I would love to sit down and have a meal with KZ.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of those people I would just like to sit down and have a meal with. Ben, I would like to take Ben out to like.
How do you eat oxtail?
To a restaurant.
You like eat oxtail? I mean, how big is an oxtail?
It's really good. New Jersey.
Ugh.
Then the big homie Dirk. Dirk, I would like to come into the house and have a Bible study with him in the living room.
Yeah, you said that tonight.
Yeah, Dirk, I'd like to have a Bible study in the living room. But KZ, I'd like to sit down and have a good hearty meal. Maybe take a nap. Do you have a couch, KZ? I can have a nap on your couch?
He does. He'll literally lay on your couch. I used to do a Bible study at my parents' house when I was a teenager, and he started showing up to it, and like he would literally lay out on the couch. I was like, who? Why do you, what? Yeah, Dirk Diggler. Yeah.
Dirk Diggler's my guy. Dirk Diggler's my guy. And Carmen, I want to go. With Carmen, I'd like to go and like tour some restaurants in Cali.
Yep. Or maybe she's a good cook.
Yep. Then Tina would take us
Like
to.
I feel like hanging out at Carmen's house would be relaxing.
Well, Zoe would have a blast with Carmen's daughter. Carmen's daughter was the one that did the
Right.
hi-ya.
Right.
Tina would take us to like all the. She would show us all the
Tina
metal
wants to
stores.
cook for us.
Yeah, Tina would definitely cook for us, but she would like show us all the back alley metal stores and shit.
Yeah.
And like, you know, then I'd be able to like qualify for the metal elitist for
The
like a real
slaughtered lamb.
metalhead. Thank you very much, sir.
I've never even heard of them. Sorry, forgot about the t-shirts, lol.
Did you?
Yes, he's completely right.
Do we have t-shirts we need to sign?
Yes.
Have you verified them? How
No,
many
everything was all confusing,
You just
and
go
so I'm just gonna do it.
We'd have to hit the mat first. Oh, so he'd do some jujitsu.
Here's this one.
Dirk, who do you think would win in a jujitsu match between me and Dirk?
Yeah, you. This is a 2X.
Dirk!
Here.
She's saying I'd win. Why do I
What?
care if it's 2X
Dirk
or
is
not?
on here because the person probably wants to know when theirs is being signed, and then they're supposed to.
Okay, who wanted the 2X? Thank you
Babe,
very
it's-
much.
It's a whole mess. It's hard
If
to tell.
you wanted the
2X.
2X, Vin is signing it right now.
The 2X
Right
was
now.
for Randy.
For Randy. Thank you very
And then
much.
there should be a 3X here.
One of my heroes is named Randy.
Here's a 3X.
Randy
And
Randy
this one's for
Shug Randy Sughart, one of
Tom.
my heroes.
Okay. Okay, so here, this one. This
Whoa,
one's for
hey,
Tom.
is Khabib fighting right now?
Look at this. This one's for Randy.
Is Khabib fighting right now, dude?
Babe, I don't even know who Khabib is.
He's the
So remember, if you guys want one of these badass Secret Sori shirts, you just go to PayPal.
It's a Sori's secret shirt.
Maybe you're sick because of your secrets. Anyway, go to PayPal and type in Vin and
Sori merch at gmail.com.
Yep. And it's $25 if you live in the United States, because we'll pay for the shipping. If you don't live in the United States, you'll have to pay for your own shipping, and unfortunately, it's $15. So it would be $40 if you're out of the U.S., $25 if you're in the United States. Did we catch that last 10? Did you thank that last 10 person?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did.
Nope,
No.
we didn't. I finally catch a live stream before it's ending. You all are making me hungry as fuck. Why hungry? We're not even eating.
Because we're talking about oxtail and all
Oh, yeah, I forgot we were just doing that.
this. Man, I really wish I had a burger from Longhorns.
Oh my gosh, that burger
So
was so
good.
good.
Where's the Khabib secret shirt? Dry rub is the best barbecue. Randy Savage. No, not Randy Savage. Randy Sughart.
I haven't mastered dry rubs. I guess I don't get a good one.
Come down to Myrtle Beach. We'll sacrifice a goat. I cannot wait till we can really.
He did. He had a big old afro when I first met him.
Yeah.
He like had an afro, and the next time that I saw him, it was all down like this. And he was all dressed up. He got serious and got a position at his job. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I got a promotion at my job, so.
Were you sad when you cut your hair off? Or do you not get sad about stuff like that? I mean, that's a lot of growth.
Well, we were in a band, and I was going to get dreads, but then...
You were?
Yeah, and then I was... there's a video of us somewhere. I can't find it, but it was badass. It was a good... That was like at the height of my shit, because that's when I was playing like 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
I used to walk around with the guitar. I couldn't do
man,
that. I couldn't do that with you now.
No.
Yeah. 6 minutes.
Attention!
6 minutes in, and you're like, oh, so...
How long are you going to do
yeah,
it
you
for?
just sit there. Like, I'll be playing something that's really good. You don't respond to it. You just want me off the thing as soon as possible.
Oh, no, it's not that. It's just, they all sound similar. So then I don't want to, like, sound insulting by saying, oh, that's new. And you're like, babe, I've been playing the same riff for the last month.
Thank you so much for the $5, sir.
I got nothing fancy to say. Here's $5. We'll put it toward the car. Thank you.
RW. Yes, each day has enough trouble of its own. I was just saying that to someone yesterday.
Holly, there's a Bible verse that says, "Ask and you shall receive." That's all I'm saying.
Is Holly? Oh, I see what you did there.
I hate burnt Cheetos.
You know, we should have put that up on the Patreon thing.
What?
Early release. You forgot about that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a tough week.
Yeah.
Service-related anxiety is a real thing, man. Much love to you guys. For sure.
What?
Does YouTube take a percentage? Yes.
Yeah, I think it's like 30% or something like that. It's high.
Tiamat would win for sure. No question.
No percent. Ivan, we have one coming out really soon where we open up gifts today.
Why isn't it out yet? That's my question.
Because I have to add that beginning thing. Remember, Bricktown Media made for us? So I need to add that into the beginning of the video.
Hey, Osiris. Send me another email.
Yeah.
To be fair, Osiris, there was a time when I reached out to you and you were not available. Vin, how does your pacifism worldview jibe with fighting sports? It doesn't really. It's one of my many flaws and contradictions.
Yep.
And I would also include football in that. So, there you go. I'm a work in progress.
Yeah, Jen, we had somebody mail us a check one time because they didn't want the
PayPal only takes 1%, right?
I have no clue.
PayPal takes like 1.5%. But...
Oh, okay. So PayPal is another way to do it. But if you want to mail something, it's Vin and Sori, P.O. Box 7025. 24. I mean, sorry. Lewiston, Maine 04243.
That's a very good question, Becky. I've been asking Lilo that for quite some time. Lilo will say all these terrible things about me and Jesus.
Yeah.
But then Becky goes, well, then why is your way the right way? Very good question. I'd like to hear that answered.
Yeah, somebody's saying on PayPal you can send it as a gift.
Vin, catchphrase t-shirts, please.
And Mr. Mason was asking when the Bible study is going to take place.
I'm going to
Good
follow
night,
you, Zanya, and follow your example and get off of here. Osiris, make sure. Slaughtered Lamb, thank you. Evan Williams, thank you. We haven't done Stevie Ray Vaughan yet. I'm trying to cover like all the major classics.
Yeah.
So we did that. Ollie, my son is convinced that the Shroud of Turin is authentic. I'm not sure. So we did Rolling Stones, Deep Purple. So keep giving us more like foundational bands and stuff, and we'll keep trying to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't apologize, Osiris. Email me again. We'll get to each other soon, inshallah. Lilo, don't answer me. Answer Becky. She's the one that asked you the very piercing, relevant question. Best on YouTube. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you guys. Motorhead. I agree. Motorhead. People keep saying that Motorhead's a classic. We got to listen to them. I think Motorhead's like. Okay, somebody get us the classic Motorhead song, please.
All right, guys. This is a final call for Vin and Sori.
Right. I need to get the Motorhead classic, though. Shortest Straw. Shortest Straw is one of my favorite Metallica songs. So, yeah, Shortest Straw is coming soon. Taballah! Living infamy, rob you raw! Inshallah, my brothers and sisters. Inshallah. Ace of Spades. Okay, everybody's saying Ace of Spades.
Okay.
AOS, Ace of Spades. Okay.
Wow, a bunch of people.
All right. Khalas, that's it. Ace of Spades, Motorhead. Yeah, write that down, babe. Yes. And then that Machine Head song.
What was that? Iron
We
what?
just got to avoid...
Wait, babe, I don't know what it was. Babe, what was it?
What?
Ace of Spades. What band is that?
Motorhead. It's Motorhead. Thank you,
Jeez,
Overshadow.
That's like the 5th one or something
Thank
like
you
that.
so
There's a
much,
bunch of them.
Overshadow. We really appreciate, guys.
Corrosion of Conformity.
Yeah, everybody's asking
That,
about.
actually,
corrosion
that
of
one is on
conformity.
my short list.
That's on
believe
the
it or
short
not.
list. Yes, it is.
I actually said it today.
We just passed over it to do the one that we did.
Yeah.
So. All right, that's it.
babe.
Thank you, guys. How much did we do today? 3 hours.
Yeah, it's been over 3 hours, I think.
It's been over 3
All right,
hours.
guys, we love you.
We love you very much. Thank you guys for your help with the car. I'm telling you, that is huge for us.
Oh my gosh, you have no idea.
Huge.
You have no idea.
RW, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. All of you guys are amazing. All of our callers, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Winter, I love you. Don't misinterpret it. Long live feminism. I'm serious.
And don't forget, October 6th at 10 p.m.
10 p.m. Eastern
Standard
Time.
Time. We have a channel announcement for you guys. So hopefully you guys can join us and, hear from us what's going on. Okay?
Yep. Hollyhock, Salanasser, all you guys. Tina, Pony, Leah of the Village, Carmen of the Village, Osiris Hawk, all the Rangers,
All the villagers of the village.
everybody that served in the military and you got anxiety, it's all good. We love you. Thank you, brothers, for doing what you did. And everybody else. We love you guys.
Leslie,
Overshadow
just
Sean,
email.
We love you.
VinandSori@gmail.com.
So yeah, all right, that's
Okay,
it. That's all
good
I
night,
got.
guys.
And of course, Leslie, shout out to you. Of course, big shout out to Lilo
And Ben.
and Ben, right? Because y'all don't say bus and
Yeah.
don't think we don't know it.
Yep. We're
All
not
right.
fools.
Much love to y'all. This is the thingy. All right, you ready?
No, you got to click this one, right?
Did you just hit quit, babe?
Okay.
Vin out.
Sorry out.